is a beautiful day in Oakland, California, as we welcome you into a full afternoon into evening of baseball. Over the next 7 hours or so, we will have a doubleheader for you between the Houston Astros and the Oakland A's, games 2 and 3 of this extended 4-game weekend series. The Astros lead the Cleveland Indians by 1 game. At the end of the day, that could be even, or the Astros could hold a 2-game lead, or they could be right back at 1 if they split this doubleheader. The Indians have won 17 in a row as they've already won their afternoon contest against the Baltimore Orioles. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Get used to us. We're going to be around for a few hours here for you with doubleheader baseball back-to-back against the A's and Blummer. A chance for the Houston Astros to get a little closer to that division title.
Yeah, they are inching closer today. They have a chance to catch a couple games up. Second doubleheader here in the last week, so these guys are used to it, and they're looking forward to it, I bet.
And in that first game, they will have Charlie Morton going to the mound, similar to the last time they had a doubleheader.
Yeah, a good guy to have going out there. He's been one of the more consistent starters for the Houston Astros, and look for him to try and get deep in this ball game. He has never pitched here at Oakland, and he only has 1 career start against the Oakland A's. It was an interesting start. He went 7 innings. He gave up 4 earned runs, but also interesting in the fact that he punched out 12 Oakland A's, which was a season high for Charlie Morton.
So Morton and Peacock, that's the combo we saw last Saturday when the Astros had a doubleheader at home against the New York Mets, and these guys have been good really since the first month of the season.
Yeah, they've been great. It's going to be great to see Brad Peacock backing up Charlie Morton in the second game of this doubleheader. A real opportunity for the Astros to go out there, get deep in these ball games, try and rest a little bit of what's left of that bullpen, but I count on them getting 2 wins today.
Not only has September represented an expanded roster, it's also represented the offense coming back to life. We come back, Julian Morales will talk about how the offense has been back to form in the final month of the year.
It's a beautiful day for two baseball games, two for the price of one here at Oakland Coliseum. The Astros trying to bounce back from a really tough loss last night. That 7-game win streak was snapped. However, what a great start to the month of September for these Houston Astros. They've been playing great baseball. When you really look at it, the offense is starting to heat up, something we saw all season long, and then August came. They weren't very consistent. Those numbers dipped a little bit. However, in their 7 games this month since the calendar turn, they're averaging 6.5 runs per game. They've looked good. 4 of those games coming on the road as well. It's just good to see this club feeling much better. We've talked a lot about the vibe and the energy being good, and you're seeing that within the lineup. Some of these guys starting to heat up. HOU Altuve had a day off, which turned out to be very important for him as he tries to get fresh and feel good in the last stretch. We saw him have a big game as well. Josh Reddick, who's been impressive, not in there today. We'll see him a little bit later on in the second game of this doubleheader. These Astros starting to click at the right time, guys. How you doing up there?
Doing great, Julia. Ready for a little baseball?
A little baseball. That's a lot of baseball.
We'll see you throughout the course of the afternoon into the early evening as we start a doubleheader today in Oakland. Make up for a rain out on that final game of a series back in April 16th. They haven't played a doubleheader here in Oakland in a while. It's been since 2014, the last doubleheader in this stadium. Here's the Astros starting lineup for game 1, presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer at the top, playing in right field. Alex Bregman back in the lineup after the day off last night. Jose Altuve is the second baseman. Carlos Correa will get the first game as the designated hitter. That means Marwin Gonzalez gets to play shortstop. Tyler White will get a start at first base. Derek Fisher is batting 7th in left field. Jake Marisnick, his first start in September. He's in center, and Juan Centeno behind the plate in game 1.
Daniel Gossett, right-hander, going for the Oakland A's. He has seen the Astros a couple times this year. He is 0-2 with a 5.40 ERA. In 11 2/3 innings pitched against these Astros, he has given up 7 earned runs and 3 home runs. His record is not very good in the American League West on a whole. He is 0-5 with a 5.13. Astros looking to take advantage of what Gossett is going to be bringing today, which is a fastball, slider, curve, and change.
Oh, Gossett, 24-year-old out of Clemson. The Astros will face 2 24-year-olds who are right-handed starters named Daniel in this doubleheader. As George Springer takes a called strike and we are underway.
First pitch, 107.
It's a regular doubleheader today. Probably about half an hour in between. We will have a lot of baseball between now and about 10 o'clock Central Time for you, and hopefully the Astros can bounce back after a tough loss last night and move closer to clinching the AL West. The Rangers losing earlier today at home to the Yankees, a game they led 1-0 late. The Yankees scored 3 to win it 3-1. So that means the magic number against Texas drops down to 7, and the Angels right now sits at 8. George Springer with a count of 1-2 to start this game. Springer coming in batting .297. September has been good for George, hitting .423. There's a breaking ball for a swing and a miss, and the first strikeout from Daniel Gossett.
That was a big 12-6 curveball. Started him a couple sliders early, snuck a fastball past him to get 2 strikes, and then snapped off the curveball.
Here's Alex Bregman. Gossett always had that breaking ball, that curveball, going all the way back to his college days. Kind of learned the slider as he came up through the A's organization. Misses to Bregman up high. It's 1-0. Alex getting the start after the day off. Did come in defensively in the game in the 9th inning for the Astros, but did not have an at bat in game 1 of this 4-game series. 1-1 the count. About a third of Gossett's strikeouts come on the curveball. Hasn't been throwing it as much as the season's gone on, as we saw early in the year. Bregman fouls one back. It's 1-2. 14th start of the season.
Fastball gets raked. Slider's been getting hit hard. The only reason I think might be today, there might be something similar as the pitches are up. He's throwing some good sliders, but they've been up in the zone.
Astros offense, nothing wrong last night, scoring 8 runs, win most of those games. Unfortunately, the bullpen had a few leads they could not hold. 7-3 lead, and then a 9-8 lead, excuse me, an 8-7 lead late, resulted in a 9-8 loss. Bregman line drive caught by Chapman at third base. Alex hit it well, but hit it in the wrong spot for the second out.
Rocket off the bat of Alex Bregman. He's been swinging the bat well. That was a cute little jump.
Second baseman, number 27, Jose Altuve.
Bregman is always bragging about the play of Matt Chapman at third. He just doesn't like to see it when it's against him. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve at 352. 2 more hits last night. Altuve up to 55 multi-hit games. Jose 15 hits shy of another 200 hit season. And now he's 14 hits shy. Base hit into center field. Jose Altuve is the game's first base runner.
Solid piece of hitting. It's time to play, and it's going to be brought to you by Toyota. Talking about Carlos Correa against Daniel Gossett. 2 home runs in 1 game. That game back at Minute Maid Park. Going Oppo Taco and then going to deep center field off the batting eye at Minute Maid Park. No cheapies against Daniel Gossett. This might be a good guy for Carlos Correa to really get that swing back.
Last 2 ABs against Gossett have been home runs. If you remember back to the beginning of the season, it took Carlos a while to get going. Had that 1 double early, but didn't have many extra base hits really until the month of May. And so far since coming back from the DL, Correa with no extra base hits. 3 for 22 upon his return. And had an RBI in his very first at bat since coming back from the thumb injury, but doesn't have any RBI since. Altuve, the American League leader in stolen bases, 1 better than his teammate Cameron Maybin. Maybin not in the lineup in game 1. Correa down in the count 0-2. And when you're fighting to come back from the injury and find your rhythm and find your timing, it seems like you're always down in the count. It seems like Correa's had a lot of 1-2 and 0-2 counts.
And that's the thing. The opposing pitcher could care less if you're struggling or not. They're going to continue to attack Carlos Correa as if he is perennial or potential MVP.
There's the breaking ball, swing and a miss. Correa goes down swinging for the final out of the inning. So 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. This doubleheader from the Oakland Coliseum, and here's how Bob Melvin will line things up against Charlie Morton. Marcus Semien will lead things off. Matt Joyce with a home run in last night's game. Jed Lowry hits number 3. Chris Davis sitting at 39 home runs. Cleanup hitter Matt Olson, Ryan Healy, Matt Chapman, Boog Powell, and Josh Fegley round out your A's lineup.
Take a look at Ground Chuck's numbers. Making his 22nd start, 11 wins. That is a career high in wins. This will be the second time he has faced the Oakland A's this season. He has never pitched here at the Oakland Coliseum, but he set a career high in punch-outs last time he faced the Oakland A's with those 12.
Well, Morton gets the ball in game 1 of this doubleheader facing Marcus Semien. Semien hit a big grand slam in last night's game. The Astros were cruising along, leading 7-3. Semien's second grand slam of the season and his third of his career. Hit that against Luke Gregerson. Has just 6 home runs this year. Spent a lot of time on the DL, but 2 of those 6 are grand slams. Pitch is a called strike. DJ Rayburn, the home plate umpire for game 1. On the ground, foul past third base coach Steve Scarsoni. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Morton and Peacock, the pitchers in this doubleheader for the Astros, just like 1 week ago, the doubleheader against the New York Mets. Curveball is chopped foul at the plate. 2 games with interest for the Astros that are final already today. We mentioned briefly in the open the Cleveland Indians winners 4-2 against Baltimore. They have won 17 in a row. Into left field, hooking towards the line, and this ball is going to be fair and all the way into the corner. Semien thought about 3. Derek Fisher runs it down and holds Semien to a double.
Semien hit the slider out off Gregerson last night. We're going to take a look at his curveball from Charlie Morton on our MB Anderson strike zone. That is a good pitch to hit. Semien knew it. There's a little bit of a shift with Derek Fisher playing in that left center field gap. No chance for him to get to that baseball. That's why Semien was thinking 3. Easy double out of the box. We've seen the A's throughout the course of the season. They seem to hit the off speed in the zone pretty good. Slider last night from Giles. Boog Powell took out. Semien took the slider from Luke Gregerson out.
That curveball from Morton didn't have very good depth on it. The one that Semien hit as he misses inside to Joyce with the fastball. It's 1-0. Joyce hit a home run last night. Astros kept jumping on top of the A's at different points in that game, but the A's finally took their first lead on the final at bat of the game. A walk-off hit by Jed Lowry. Joyce got them back in it with a home run to make it 5-3. Astros would push that lead up to 7-3, and then the A's would tie it at 7. Astros led again 8-7 before losing in walk-off fashion 9-8. There's a better curveball. Joyce down in the count 1-2. Charlie Morton, only one team he hasn't faced in his career, and that's the team he has pitched the most games with in his MLB time, the Pittsburgh Pirates. The A's were the only other team prior to this year he had not faced. Missed down low. It's 2-2. Charlie looking to continue his stretch of 21 consecutive starts with at least 5 innings. Astros could use some length today out of their starters after Colin McHugh had to leave after 3 innings with an injury last night. Joyce goes around, and Morton has his first strikeout of the day.
That's the good curveball from Charlie Morton. We'll take a look at his pitch usage. Presented to you by AT&T. Fastball 60% of the time. Uses it early and often. Hitters hitting .272 against it. And then that breaking ball is that First of the secondary pitches that he goes to, hitting a $120 against that pitch. The occasional cut and change up, back up those pitches.
That Simeon double, rare hit on the curveball, as here's Jed Lowry. Lowry at 274, switch hitter, batting 281 as a left-hand hitter this year. Takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for a ball. It's 1-0. Called strike. It's 1-1. The 0-2 Oakland A's, the only other team since 1953 with a winning streak of more than 16 games until today. The runaway train that is Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians, winning their 17 straight. In the last 64 years, it's happened twice. 0-2 A's and the current Indians. Swing and a miss. Morton ahead of Lowry, 1-2.
Starting pitching for the Cleveland Indians has been off the charts. They've got two guys leading the league with wins. Bauer and Kluber leading with 15 wins apiece. Clevenger hasn't given up a run in his last 3 starts. Their offense is getting all the timely hitting.
Carrasco has been amazing this year. Yeah, they're a scary team right now.
This is with Andrew Miller on the DL. And Jason Kipnis.
Yeah. Jed Lowry is having a great year with doubles, 42, tied for second in the major leagues. That's still 5 behind Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, he's been tearing the cover off the ball.
Ramirez may not be a lead candidate for MVP, and he kind of flies under the radar there in Cleveland, but he certainly would be a top 5 candidate.
He's making a strong push, isn't he?
1-2 pitch is fouled back. Right now, with 3 weeks and a day to go in the season, most people feel like the Astros' second baseman is the lead candidate for MVP. We'll see a couple of other candidates on this road trip with the team heads to Anaheim. Altuve leading in most of the WAR categories you see. There are different ways to factor in WAR, but Jose seems to be the top of almost every of those charts. 1-2 pitch, called third strike. Morton gets one right on the corner that froze Lowry. He wasn't sure about the call, but that's 2 strikeouts for Charlie.
Yeah, Lowry saw that ball jump out of Charlie's hand. Looked like it might have been over the outside corner, but it broke back. Pretty good cluster of pitches down and in. But that was just a snap dragging straight down on that outside edge. Maybe a little bit off, but he gets the call. It's a little bit of, it's deceptive to the hitter in the sense it looks like it's off the plate, but it's also deceptive to the umpires too, because they see the break coming back towards the plate. Gave the benefit of the doubt to Charlie.
Looks like a pretty good call. May have clipped just a piece of the corner. Chris Davis, the batter, with a runner on second base now with 2 outs. A double and a couple of strikeouts. Davis sitting at 39 home runs and 99 runs batted in. His last 6 games, he's hitting .417 with 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Astros have played 140 games, 22 to go. A's have played the same number. Astros at 32 games over 500. The A's at 20 games under 500. Oakland snapped an 8-game losing streak with a win on Wednesday. They've now won a couple of games in a row. The Astros saw their 7-game winning streak go away last night. Davis holds up on a pitch that misses. It's 3-0.
Pretty good tilt for Charlie Morton in the mid-90s to have that kind of run. But if he were to happen to get that call or open up that portion of the strike zone, it'd be a good night or good afternoon for Charlie Morton.
He needs that low strike. He lives down there, gets all those ground balls with that running 2-seamer. There's one poured in there at 3-0. If he's not getting that bottom portion of the plate, it could be a tough day. 3-1 the count. Now the count's full. This will be one of the tougher days for infielders and outfielders on pop-ups or fly balls. The sky here in Oakland is just a very bright light blue. We've seen more than one fly ball lost in the sky in this ballpark.
Yeah, you just start to see guys around the infield looking up, trying to find it. A little practice of shading your eyes in case you do get that pop fly. I really feel like it's from the center of the field to the left field, and all the infielders on the left-hand side that have the most issues with it.
Swing and a miss. Morton gets 3 strikeouts after the leadoff double by Marcus Semien. He's right back on pace where he struck out a dozen A's in his first start against this team, and we're scoreless. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Beautiful September Saturday here. Astros and A's playing a doubleheader. Day game tomorrow and then an off day on Monday. Astros bookending off days around this weekend series, which is probably a good thing considering there's a lot of baseball in a short amount of time here in Oakland. Marwin Gonzalez leads off against Daniel Gossett inning 2 and takes a high fastball for ball 1. Marwin and Tyler White and Derek Fisher 5, 6, and 7 in the game 1 lineup for A.J. Hinch. A.J. giving Yuli Gurriel the game 1 off. Josh Reddick has game 1 off. Cameron Maben, Brian McCann. Not sure if we'll see McCann or not in game 2. Brian's caught a lot of baseball lately. Centeno is here. Max Stassi is here. And there is the 4th catcher just activated today. Evan Gattis is available as well.
They're rattled off about 28 other names just to cover everybody that's here.
Oh, I was just going catchers.
37 active players for the Houston Astros.
Not a lot of space on the bench.
One of the worst clubhouses to do that in. They still have to go through Boston later in the season too. That'll be fun. Get to know your friends intimately.
Yeah, you're right about that. Oakland and Boston probably is two of the tougher clubhouses with an expanded roster. Pitches missing at 3-1 to Marwin.
Dodger Stadium was terrible. Then the visiting clubhouse. Obviously Wrigley. The old Tiger Stadium was one of the worst. Yeah, luckily I missed that one. Ooh.
Well, now it'll be interesting for Justin Verlander, who gets to talk to Evan Gattis and make sure he can differentiate between him and Brian McCann. 3-2 the count.
Great if they messed with him a little bit. Brian McCann puts on Evans' jersey and goes, "Hey, nice to meet you."
Good to see Gattis back. everybody pretty much back now. Plummer said 37. That's as full as it's going to get. Colin Moran continues to play in rehab games, but they may just let him play out the rest of that string with Quad Cities, as they are now in the championship round of the Midwest League with a win last night. So Colin may just finish out his season down there.
The fact that Colin is even back and stepping into a batter's box is pretty darn impressive.
Really tough situation for him. He had just hit a home run in Baltimore and looking like he was going to get some playing time, and then fractured bones in his face and had to have surgery, and fortunately back in there now. Here's a line drive smoked by Marwin Gonzalez into center field. Marwin with a base hit to start his doubleheader.
A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lights.
Number 13, Tyler White.
Here's Tyler White. Tyler had a great year at AAA Fresno this year, hitting .300, making his 9th start of the season for the Astros. He's done a nice job when given the opportunity. 12 for 36, 3 home runs. All 3 home runs coming in consecutive plate appearances over 2 games. White first pitch swinging, fouls one back. Tyler had 25 home runs at the minor league level. With Carlos Correa back, with Cameron Maben added to the roster, with the catchers getting healthier again, you're seeing fewer at bats available for guys like White. The guy on deck, Derek Fisher. We haven't seen as much of J.D. Davis lately, guys that had an opportunity earlier this season, but the roster's filling up. It's a strange return to the bag, but it worked out for Marwin.
Almost looked like a version of Twister.
That's what I thought. That's the first thing I thought of.
Right foot, right hand on blue.
Swing and a miss at 0-2. It's like he was in between wanting to dive and wanting to just get back normally, and he ended up doing both. Oh, and 2 to count to Tyler. Fouls went away. One admission. Crowd can stay here all day long if they want. No split doubleheader. About a half an hour between games.
It's just enough time for me to go out and get some drum lessons in.
See, originally you talked about taking a nap in our broadcast booth, so now you've changed your plans?
Yeah, I'm going to go out there and get a drum lesson. I think I could play in this band. Grow my hair out.
It's definitely a fun group.
True. Never a dull moment.
No. But you don't go out to that section unless you're ready.
Have you been out there?
Yes.
So is Julia.
Yeah, it's obviously it's loud from here. When you're out there, it is combination concert baseball game. Swing and a miss. White goes down swinging. Gossett picks up his 3rd strikeout, 1 out in the 2nd inning.
Batting in the 7th position, left fielder, number 21, Derek Fisher.
Gossett doesn't usually strike out a high number. In fact, his season high, also his career high, is 6. He's already struck out 3 of the first 4 outs in this game. Here's Derek Fisher. Fisher getting a start today. First time through with the Astros. Fisher had incredible at-bats, and he was reaching base pretty much every game. 23 out of the first 24 games he was on base. And his playing time's been a little more sporadic lately, and that average has dipped down a bit, starting the day at 219, 23 for 105 in his first year with the Astros. This ball is sliced to left field. Long run for Chris Davis, still on the move, and he backhands it on the track. Marlins going to tag up and get into scoring position with 2 outs.
It's actually a pretty good play. Talked about how left field can be a little tough as far as some, but Chris Davis stays behind it and creates a good angle, and any opportunity the Astros have to advance on Chris Davis's arm, they will.
Jake Marisnick.
So there's Jake Marisnick. Good to see Jake back in the lineup. He's come in as a pinch runner, defensive replacement a couple of times in the month, but first start in September. Coming off a little bit of a groin injury. Jake playing center field, batting 8th, has a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Called strike, it's 0-1. Jake comes in at 246, career high 16 home runs. Also stolen 9 bases. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the final 3 weeks, because Jake and Cameron Maybin both represent similar skill sets. Guys that can run, play great defensive center field. Jake normally has a little more pop, at least this year, but Cameron's been showing off the power lately with 3 home runs as an Astro. Should see Maybin in game 2 of this doubleheader.
Would you be a good quarterback if you lined up with them on each end of your line of scrimmage?
Ooh.
Speed, good hands, height.
Yeah, that would be a great receiving core. Strike called. It's 2-2. Altuve could be your 3rd down back coming out of the backfield.
Why not?
Swing a little.
He'd be your Darren Sproles.
Right.
That's a little guy you can sneak behind and then give him the football and he's gone.
See Springer or Correa working in the mix in that receiving core also. In the dirt, it's 3-2.
Something tells me Alex Bregman might have a little bit to say about that.
About being in that role of Altuve?
Yeah, he'd be like, I could do it better.
I would be the best.
That's Alex's attitude, and I love him for it.
Hey, probably have a pretty good offense with some of those guys that you mentioned.
Oh, these guys are athletes. Absolutely.
Full count. And Gossett picks up another strikeout. He's only 2 away from his career high. He has 4 through 2. And we're still scoreless. Astros and A's.
Matt Olson.
Charlie Morton with 3 strikeouts in the first inning after a leadoff double will go to work against the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the A's lineup. Matt Olson, Ryan Healy, and Matt Chapman. A's scored 8 of their 9 runs last night via the home run. Only the walk-off hit by Jed Lowry scored a run without a homer. Here's Olson hitting a BB on one hop off the center field wall. Olson into second easily with a double. Jake's throw coming all the way back into the infield. Olson picked on the first pitch he saw.
Batting in the 6th position.
You can tell that Matt Olson was sitting on that fastball early on our Mattress Firm Supermo. You see the release from Charlie Morton with an elevated fastball, and that's what Olson was looking for, and he threw the head at it and squared it up. Shooting that bullet into right center field.
Here's Ryan Healy. Healy has that batting average up to 269, hitting 345 his last 22 games. This trio due up in the inning: Olson, Healy, Chapman. Healy can play first or third. Olson looks pretty good over at first. Chapman has played an outstanding third base. They can get some production here out of some young players and their corner infielders. A's trying to piece together their nucleus for the future, and 3 guys due up in this inning are all potential big pieces of that puzzle. On the ground right side, late break to first for Tyler White, but he's able to scramble back and get there in time as Healy does his job and advances the runner to third. So 1 out, runner on third base.
Third baseman, 26, Matt Chapman.
Bring up Matt Chapman. Chapman riding a 3-game streak where he's 5 for 12. Hit a 2-run home run and also singled and scored a run his last time up. Went 3 for 4 in the game. Takes a breaking ball from Morton for a called strike. Astros bring the infield in against Chapman with 1 out and a runner on third. Up and in, 1-1. This is an A's team that will score some runs. They're also prone to the strikeout too, and that's something Charlie Morton would look for here with a 1-2 count on Chapman.
Well, they're a talented young team, and they can be aggressive, but at the same time, I really feel like if Astro pitchers have a good game plan and are able to execute it the way they want, they should be able to set up some of these younger hitters to put them away for some of those strikeouts. But we've seen them hit some good, not necessarily good off-speed pitches in the zone. Chapman got himself a hanging breaking ball yesterday. Earlier in this game, Semien took a hanging breaking ball into that left field corner.
In the air, deep to right field. Springer all the way back, and that ball bounces all the way against the wall. Easily scoring is Olson. Chapman heading to third. The relay throw not in time. Chapman with a triple, and the A's lead this game 1-0.
When I say execute, you've got to be able to put the pitch where you want. You can see down and away is where Centeno wants that sinker, but this is a fastball that runs center cut down the middle part of the plate. And with that runner at third base, less than 2 outs, that's a great pitch to drive to the outfield. And with that outfield shift on, just drops it to the left of where George is for a triple.
A couple of pitches elevated in this inning have hurt Charlie Morton, and now he'll face Boog Powell. Powell hit the game-tying home run on an 0-2 pitch against Ken Giles last night. With his team down 1 in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Thought it was pretty interesting that post-game quotes. Boog Powell basically said that Ken Giles did him a favor by throwing that slider.
With the infield in, Powell just squirts one between short and third for an RBI base hit. The A's take a 2-0 lead. Powell's now 7 for 11 on the season against the Astros.
Can't figure him out. It's a breaking ball up.
Batting ninth and catching, number 19, Josh Begley.
Yeah, I'll spend the catchword in this inning for Charlie Morton. He has left more than his share of pitches up. As you've seen in our MD Anderson strike zone, it has hurt him. It's 2-0, and now he'll face the number 9 hitter, Josh Begley. Pickoff attempt gets away. Powell's going to think about third, and with this expanded foul territory, he's going to get there.
That was just a good old-fashioned clank by Tyler White. Didn't look like an awful throw from Charlie. And again, normal circumstances, if you don't have the shift on, your second baseman has a chance to get over there and try and get that baseball. But here at wherever we're at, Coliseum, there's plenty of room over there.
Didn't call that error on Charlie Morton.
It's a tough error.
Yeah, it looked like a throw that Tyler White should have caught. Third straight hitter now will bat with a runner on third base. Chapman drove in the first run with a triple. Powell the second run with a single. Now Begley, the number 9 hitter, will bat. Takes a pitch inside for a ball. Begley has spent a lot of this season on the DL. Just about 5.5 weeks with a strained left oblique. Just activated when rosters were expanded. 0 for 2, just 1 start since September 1st. Also was on the DL earlier in the year with a concussion. Has a count of 2-0. Infielders have remained in for 3 straight hitters. Charlie behind Josh Begley, 3-0.
First time through the order isn't usually where Charlie Morton has his issues. First time through the order, hitters are hitting 180 coming into this game. It's that second time through is where they start to wear him out a little bit, where the average jumps to 268. And he's given up the most home runs, 7 home runs that second time through the lineup on the season.
Yeah, this is usually his dominant portion of the game, those first 9 hitters. He's worked his way back to a full count. Charlie struggling in this second inning. Double, triple, single in the inning. Now trying to get Josh Begley. Tried to hold up, and he does. And that's ball 4. Tough call for Nick Marley, the young umpire, at first base.
Make a call at home. I think that's a good call, but last night, DJ Rayburn, who is now behind home plate, had no problem bringing guys up on less than that.
Brent Strom out to the mound to talk to Charlie Morton. You mentioned the batting average against OPS blaring as well. 551 first time through, 818 second time through. Well, this time around, 4 hits and a walk first time through.
Just off the fastball, second and third time through. a little bit more of a mix.
Charlie struck out 3 in the first inning, but the A's have strung some good at bats against him in this inning. He's up to 40 pitches now, facing the top of the order. Marcus Semien had doubled his first time up. Cued off the end of the bat right into the Astros dugout. It's 0-1.
His nickname over Players Weekend was Ground Chuck. He could really use a ground ball right here.
Check swing, runner coming home. Morton fumbles it and everybody's safe. Morton could not find the grasp on the comebacker to the mound. He had a play right in front of him. But Boog Powell scores, and the A's lead this game 3-0.
I don't think we're keeping anything from anyone by saying that Charlie's not the best fielding pitcher on this ball club. Had an opportunity here, probably trying to do too much. It looked like he had intentions of coming home to get that runner. But with the initial bobble, that's what allows speedy Boog Powell to get home. If he catches it clean right out of the chute, he's got a real shot at home plate.
Yeah, if he catches that clean, Powell should be out by a couple of feet. Just a little shovel pass or underhand toss to Centeno. But Charlie could not field it cleanly. That's the second error of the inning. Charge to Charlie Morton. The first one really could have gone to Tyler White, but that one was a relatively routine play. Fielder's choice and error on Morton. Now first and second. Still only 1 out. Royce takes a pitch down and in, 1-0. Last thing A.J. Hinch was anticipating, with Charlie Morton having pitched at least 5 innings in every start this year, is Morton getting a high pitch count rolling early in this game, but that's where he is in the second inning. Still 1 out and 43 pitches. There's a strike. 1-1. AJ does have an expanded roster to work with out of the bullpen, but he's also not wanting to use up all his bullets with 2 more games to go before the teams leave town after tomorrow's game. Powell out of play. It's 1-2. Three hits, a walk, and a couple of errors in this inning. Joyce tried to hold up. He does. 2-2. Joyce, first of 3 consecutive strikeout victims for Morton in the first inning.
Closer than the previous one.
Morton gets him there. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 4th strikeout. Second out of the second.
Well, Charlie Morton is a veteran pitcher. Been around a while. He's got some new stuff that he's been working with this year as far as velocity is concerned. The breaking ball's been good with the average against it. I just feel like you'd like to see him do a better job of pitching out of damage or pitching out of traffic. It seems like things have a tendency to snowball on him a little bit.
Now facing Jed Lowry. Lowry called out on strikes his first time up, takes a called strike. 8th batter of the inning for the A's.
backswing, caught Centeno right on top of the head, shook him. That's much like how we saw Evan Gattis end up on the concussion list.
Gattis caught a backswing from Corey Dickerson, put him on the DL, and Centeno catches a backswing from Jed Lowry.
Curveball coming back inside, and the catcher leaning in. That's where he absolutely wears it on top of the head. Again, you're hoping it's just a little bit of a stinger and that he's able to stay in, but a little bit of an emphasis on trying to protect these catchers.
Evan knows all too well what that feels like, and Jeremiah Randall is going to make sure they do all the concussion protocol tests before he leaves home plate. And they're going to take him out of the game. So a backswing that catches Juan Centeno in the helmet, knocked him down to the ground, will take him out of this game. And both Evan Gattis and Brian McCann running around in the dugout, not sure who's going for the catcher's gear. Looks like Stassi's going to be the one.
With the amount of catcher's interferences that we've seen this season and guys getting hit on the backswings, I wonder if anybody would think about adjusting where those catchers are set up. I know that was a unique case for Centeno in the sense that he was setting up outside and drifted back towards the inside, so he got closer to the hitter. But I really feel like some of these guys are getting hit relatively hard on backswings. Not good.
So since Centeno will lead the game and Stassi takes over in the third inning. Charlie Morton working with an 0-2 count to Lowry. It seems like catchers try and get as close to the plate as possible to increase their ability to frame pitches.
Yep.
But you're right, we're seeing so many more catchers interferences, and seen a couple of guys hit on backswings this year. Max Stassi takes over. Good news is the Astros now have 4 active catchers, but you never want to see anything happen to your starting catcher as Centeno leaves the game in the third. Making sure their signs are on point with a runner on second base and 2 outs and an 0-2 count. A's lead 3-0.
Just a double check. Make sure they're on the same page as far as signs. Hope everything's all right with Centeno.
Pitch misses. It's 1-2. Begley on second base. Semien on first. 2 outs. 1-2 count on Jed Lowry. Charlie's pitch count over 50 now. In the second inning, up to 52. Four strikeouts. It's all come from the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the lineup. And he gets another one on the number 3 hitter, Jed Lowry. That's 5 strikeouts in the game, but some damage by the A's. They take a 3-0 lead to the third.
Take a look at our Chevy Stro poll. Remember to follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW. This is where you can vote. How important is a September win streak or a strong finish to a team's postseason success? Very important, somewhat important, or not important at all. Toss this up to the booth, but we'll tell you who or which answer wins a little bit later in the broadcast. TK?
All right, Julia, thanks. Stro poll in this 3-0 game. AJ Hinch looking on. Fortunately for AJ, that scoreboard that shows the Cleveland Indians winning is right in front of him as he looks out at home plate. Indians winning 4-2. Not happy about that, but I'm sure he's happy about the fact that the Rangers lost 3-1, and the Astros that much closer to wrapping up the AL West. But Indians seem invincible right now as Max Stassi will lead off the 3rd inning. Just came into the game, caught a couple of pitches in the bottom of the 2nd, and now gets his first AB. Max takes a pitch for a ball, 1-0. Stassi started the 2nd game in Seattle on Tuesday night. Went 0 for 2 with a walk. Has a couple of home runs on the season. Daniel Gossett in his 3rd inning of work has allowed a couple of hits. He has struck out 4. 4 different times in his career, Gossett has struck out as many as 6. That's his major league best. Tried to go to the curveball there, which is a big strikeout pitch for him, and it's 2-2. It'll be Stassi, then the top of the order, Springer and Bregman. For some reason with Gossett, the number 9 hitter has given him the most problems all season long. Number 9 hitter has an 1128 OPS against Gossett, by far the highest number of any spot in the order. 3-2. AJ was thinking of giving Stassi the start in game 2. We'll see if that changes now. Up and in. Gossett loses. The leadoff hitter Max Stassi with a walk to start the 3rd inning. Join the Astros for next Friday's game against the Seattle Mariners. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Houston Strong t-shirt presented by HEB. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. Plenty of time for the Astros in this offense. Down 3, George Springer bats. And Gossett losing the strike zone a little bit after getting ahead of Stassi, and that'll draw a visit from his catcher Josh Phegley.
It's been one of the tighter zones we've seen in a while. Weber not giving much off the edges. Nothing down in the zone, that is for sure. Might have been a little bit of frustration from Gossett overthrowing that first pitch to George. But I'm with you. This is a quick strike offense that could be back in a hurry. Be nice if they could score some runs and give Charlie Morton an extended amount of rest in that dugout. He spent a quality amount of time out here in the Northern California sun.
2-0. Charlie now has a home in the Bradenton, Sarasota area, so he has some concern right now. Hurricane Irma is heading towards that west side of Florida. 2-0 pitch is fouled. The play is 2-1. Springer struck out his first time up. George has 98 runs scored starting the day. That is 2nd in the American League. 1 ahead of his teammate Jose Altuve, both trailing Aaron Judge. George tried to hold up on a 2-1 pitch, and he does. It's 3-1. Springer 11 for 27 this month. We saw it take George a little while to get his timing back after being on the DL. He only missed 13 games. We're not quite seeing Correa with his timing back yet. Once these guys are both playing at 100%, that's dynamic offense gets even better. All four back-to-back walks issued by Daniel Gossett in a 3-0 game. And just like that, the tying run comes to the plate with nobody out.
As much time as Charlie Morton spent on the mound, Daniel Gossett may have gained a little bit of rust by watching that last inning.
He visited the mound. Pitching coach Scott Emerson having a word with 24-year-old right-hander Daniel Gossett, originally drafted by the Red Sox, elected to go to college at that point. Attended Clemson and was a second-team All-American, Golden Spikes finalist, and then drafted by the A's in 2014. Went from the 16th round out of high school in 11 to the second round in 14.
Alex Bregman.
Here's Alex Bregman. 2 hits, 2 walks allowed. Bregman swings at the first pitch and sends one to left. Davis waits for it. Stassi is tagging at second. Springer's tagging at first. They're both going to try and advance, and they will. 2 runners into scoring position. Springer trails Stassi, moving 90 feet.
A little interesting to see Alex aggressive after seeing the struggles with command in this inning from Daniel Gossett. Did hit it deep enough and to the right guy to get the base runners to move 90 feet.
Here's Altuve, singled his first time up. Jose with that batting average up to .353, has a couple of runners in scoring position. The infield is back as Altuve takes a pitch down and in. It's 1-0. Jose with 2 hits last night, snapping an 0 for 12. Had a home run and a double. Now he has Stassi on third, Springer on second, and 1 out in a 3-run game. Checked his swing, and it's caught by the pitcher on 1 hop, Gossett, who makes the play. Only spot where a run wasn't going to come home. The rest of the infield was back, and Altuve grounds to the pitcher.
Daniel Gossett will take that. Well, excuse me, check swing from best hitter in all of baseball.
Now batting, number 1, Carlos Correa.
Altuve frustrated with that AB, and now it's up to Carlos Correa with 2 outs. Correa struck out his first time up. Takes a strike. Showed his first time up. Correa had hit back-to-back home runs. Last 2 ABs against Gossett prior to striking out his first at bat. Carlos still looking for his first extra base hit since being activated 6 days ago. Swing and a miss, and Correa, like we said in his first at bat, seems to always find himself down 0-2 in the counts lately. Couple of walks, advancing on a fly ball. The Astros looking for a little 2-out RBI here. strike. Fastball for a third strike, and that'll do it for the Astros. 2 men left on base. We're through 2.5 in a 3-0 game.
Leaves them trailing the Athletics by 3. Join the Astros next Saturday night for the Superhero Day. Fans can purchase special ticket packages starting at $26 that include pregame access to Union Station, superhero meet and greets, a photo booth, and an Astros Superhero Cape giveaway. Visit astros.com/superhero for more info.
Leading off the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Athletics.
It's a cape for most, but it's a bib for Todd. Sorry.
Looking forward to that weekend. Seattle will be in town. Chris Davis will lead things off bottom half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Davis, Matt Olson, and Ryan Healy. Morton struck out Davis his first time up. Charlie has 5 strikeouts. And there's a pop-up. Stassi trying to find it in the high sky, and he does. Puts it away. On 1 pitch, the dangerous Chris Davis retired. And there's 1 out in the 3rd.
That was really nice. First pitch out. Charlie Morton appreciates that.
Morton up to 53 pitches after 2 innings. Needed a quick out to start the 3rd. Now he'll face Matt Olson.
I think Charlie Morton goes to a particular just whatever's in the dugout as far as gum, because he goes to that gum quite a bit.
I would think you have a go-to.
I mean, the double bubble that they have down there, right? That stuff's pretty good.
Yeah, I have a go-to.
What's yours?
I go 1 sugarless, but then I go 1 flavored.
Nice.
So it doesn't feel...
2 flags on the play, offsetting penalties.
Right. Basically, I'm playing for the tie. I want the flavor, and then I drop in the sugarless just so.
It's all about your conscience.
Exactly. What you feel good about. There's a called strike. It's 0-2. Matt Olson started that 3-run second, the first of 8 hitters to face Charlie Morton in the second with a double. Grounded foul towards the crowded Astros bullpen. Everybody undercover today. Last night without the sun out, they had chairs everywhere. Juan Centeno being evaluated for concussion protocol test. That's why Max Stassi is catching this 3rd inning. Came on with 2 outs in the 2nd. Inside. 2-2. Morton walked 1. But it was the number 9 hitter right in the middle of that 3-run inning. They did change the error earlier that was given to Morton. It's now Tyler White's error. So 2 errors in the inning, 1 on Morton, 1 on White. After Charlie got ahead of Matt Olson, now the count's full. First time pitching here in the Oakland Coliseum. It's been a bit of a struggle early for Charlie Morton. Now out of play the other way. Olson's a big guy, 11 home runs since August 11th. Was recalled August 8th and has had a chance to play pretty much on a regular basis for the last month. Stays 3-2. Unusual setup for Olson prior to the pitch coming home. Has that bat basically out over the plate. He's able to bring it back. Get ready for the pitch as it's being delivered. And he holds up on a 3-2 pitch. It's inside. Second walk issued by Morton. Olson, a 1-out base runner. Julia?
Hey, guys. I have made my way up to the booth here because I brought a present for Blummer. You can't even see this. It's so big. Oh, here we go.
Love it.
Takes up the whole screen.
Okay,
so this is from a fan, a Houston fan that came to the game today. Now you've blocked all of us out of the shot. That's all right.
It's okay. It's funny. It's a big hat.
Get in there, Julia.
Get it?
It is a big hat. Well, an Astros fan tried to wear this to the game, and they made her take it off.
You got yelled at for this?
She got yelled at. It was blocking the people behind her.
I don't know about you, but I feel like playing around at Jeopardy.
I can't see anything. No wonder they made her take it off. I can't see.
So then, is this now a gift?
So she said, "Can you wear it?" And I was like, you know what? Blummer has been dying for
This
one.
thing dominates some camera time, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness.
This is delicious.
Widen out the shot
Yeah,
there.
if I needed a bigger head as it was, right?
Anyway, enjoy. I dare you to call the rest of the game with that thing.
Oh, I'm in. Hey, if it leads to a win, you know I will.
Oh my gosh, you look more ridiculous from the front.
It's kind of a
have a
good
keen
look.
sense for the obvious, Julia. What are you talking about? If we get a double play right here, this thing's staying on the rest of the game.
I gotta go find out if the fan flew from Houston with that.
Oh man, probably get charged for a carry-on
Right?
with this thing.
So she was not allowed to wear it in this stadium.
No.
I can understand if this stadium was packed and there are people in every row.
Yeah. Right.
Where are you sitting in this stadium that you're obstructing a view?
Well, that's nice that she found somebody that could wear it.
That is awesome.
Funny.
It is.
Foul ball at the plate. It's 2-1.
There's Alex Trebek when you need him.
There you go, Blummer. The people in Mount Davis can see that hat.
Yeah, they can. I'm not going to sneak anywhere around the stadium. I'll be that guy.
So if there's a double play turn here, you're going with the hat.
If there's a double play and they score next inning, yes, this hat will be worn the entire doubleheader.
No. You just committed for 6 hours with that
Why
hat?
not?
Maybe 5? 2-1 pitch. I like your...
Well, there's enough space in between the top of the hat that I feel like my hair is going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect
No.
the dew.
I mean, I've got this thing on over a headset.
It's true.
That's how big this hat is. It's huge.
It's
You're doing
2-2.
a heck of a job keeping it together with me next to you, by the way.
I love it. It's all about pacing. Swing and a miss.
It works.
The hat so far is working.
I'm 1 for 1.
Now, what happens if this becomes as popular as the edible item in Seattle?
I don't know.
Then all of a sudden, yeah. So let's just keep it for the doubleheader, the big hat for the doubleheader.
Yeah, we don't want to exhaust that.
Yeah, man, you can't overdo the hat.
26.
Good curveball from Charlie. That's good to see.
He does have 6 strikeouts today of his 8 outs. Now facing Matt Chapman. In the dirt, picked by Stassi.
You want to see Charlie bounce back and start throwing some good pitches. See how low that arm angle gets on that breaking ball. That's the depth that Todd was talking about earlier in the ball game, creating that sharp downward break to get that swing over the top.
Didn't see that on the Marcus Semien double early. ball's ripped but foul into the A's dugout. Almost took out a couple of guys.
There was an old saying when we were in the dugout. As hitters, you see a ball go flying into the bullpen like that.
Yep.
Hit a lefty.
Hit a lefty.
Yeah. Nobody ever wanted to face that left-handed specialist out of the bullpen. They were usually pretty tough.
September expansions. There's a few lefties to choose from.
Take a couple of them out.
A lot of bullpen arms down there. Ground ball towards third. The hat's going to stay. It's funny, and it's working.
It is. So far, so good. We're sticking with it. Score a couple runs next inning.
3-0. We head to the fourth. Astros trailing 3-0. Marwin Gonzalez will lead things off against Daniel Gossett. Astros had a couple of runners on last inning via the walk, couple of hits prior to that, one in the first, one in the second, but still have not solved Daniel Gossett, 24-year-old right-hander, as he will face Gonzalez, Tyler White, and Derek Fisher. Blummer going with the big hat, hoping to turn luck around. Got a couple of outs there in the bottom half of the third inning.
Big hat, big hits.
There you go. See if the offense can pay it off for you here in the fourth. What's the comfort level with that big hat?
It's a little itchy up front.
Is it?
Yep. But there's plenty of room up here. I don't feel like I'm really crammed into this thing.
You have to watch as you turn your head.
Yeah, I can take a couple people out here.
Marwin takes a pitch low. There are a lot of people on social media that are hoping for a few runs to score this inning, or at least one. They want to see the big hat stay. It's up to Gonzalez, White, Fisher, and if it gets further than that, Marisnik and Stassi. Marwin down in the count 1-2. Gossett struck out 5. He's one off his career mark. Never beaten the Astros, never beaten a team in the AL West in 5 starts, but he's pitched well so far through 3. Two and 2 the count. Gossett started the year at AAA level with the Nashville Sounds. And he gets Gonzalez. That is strikeout number 6.
Disappointing start to this inning with the curveball and the punch out, but people are enjoying the big hat.
Now batting.
It would be
Tyler White.
It would be quite a commitment for you if you kept it on the whole doubleheader if they do score in this inning. So I think that's what fans are looking for. Plummer's making my day.
I could probably put lunch up here and keep it for a while.
Yeah, you could serve some nachos out of that.
Ooh.
A little dip on top.
Nacho hat. It's my hat. It's nacho hat. Stop it.
Stop. We'll be here all day. for another 6 hours or so.
Yeah.
And we can put the dip in the top.
There we go. Plenty
of room. So thanks to that fan who gave Blummer the big hat.
Yeah, you have no idea how excited that made me.
Tyler White bats with a 2-0 count.
Need this offense to get to Daniel Gossett.
Yeah, what's going on right now? This offense has had a couple of opportunities. Last inning the best, second and third, one out with Altuve and Correa, and we're unable to score. There's a ball into left center field off the bat of Tyler White, and it's off the wall. Playing it off the wall is Powell, and White gets into second base with a one-out double.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Good swing from Tyler White, getting a fastball middle down and driving into that left center field gap. Nicely done at the bottom part of the zone. Not easy to go down there and get it, but it's nice to see Tyler attacking that fastball early in the count, getting himself into scoring position.
That'll bring up Derek Fisher. Fisher's last home run exactly 1 month ago in Chicago. 36 ABs since his last home run as he takes a pitch outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Astros down 3-0. Tyler White on second with one away. Fisher ahead of the count, 2-0. Derek flied out to left his first time up. Pops out of the glove of Fegley, but not far enough for Tyler White to advance. But the count's 3-0 on Fisher. There's a strike. It's 3-1. Second time through the lineup is usually where Gossett has found his trouble. On the ground, right side, backhanded by Olsen. Gossett late covering, but he's able to get there to beat Fisher. On the play, White moves to third.
For a second there, I thought Derek was going to beat this out. Gossett wasn't exactly quick getting off the mound, hesitated just a hair. That was a good flip from Olsen to lead Gossett just to beat Derek Fisher.
Now batting, number 6, Jake Marisnick.
Gossett was late, but once he got going, he just barely stayed ahead of the strides of Derek Fisher.
Very close.
So now it's up to Jake Blummer for you to keep the big hat.
Thought it was going to be a real opportunity. You know, Derek might have gotten a little extra lean if he had the hat forcing him forward.
Yeah, gravity.
Yeah.
Want to know the count. Jake struck out his first time up.
I really think the A's announcers are concerned about me wearing this hat in the booth for so long. Getting some weird looks.
Two and one the count. A's scored 3 in the bottom half of the second inning against Charlie Morton. Astros trying to come back in this game 1 of a doubleheader. Last night, the team that trailed almost the entire game ended up winning the game when the A's walked it off with a 2-run ninth. There's a strike to Marisnick. It's 2-2.
Joys of being tall right there. That slider coming back barely to catch the top part of the zone.
Foul ball, long run for Olsen, and he can't quite get there. Just out of his reach. A lot of room here in Oakland. By far the biggest foul territory in the major leagues. That one was a little too far for Olsen to catch up to.
Jake does a good job of fighting that pitch off, but you can't relax here at the Coliseum. Plenty of open space to make the play. Luckily, just out of the reach of Olsen. He's right around the 5-yard line?
Yeah, towards the corner of the end zone. A little down and out pattern. Kept the hat possibilities alive.
It did.
Still need Jake to come through here. Tried to hold up, and he goes around. Astros do not score in the fourth quarter.
Work for Charlie, not for the offense. I'm done with it. Sorry.
Big hat.
Big
not
hat.
Funny anymore.
Not funny.
A's lead the Astros 3-0. A's winning game 1 of this series last night 9-8. Boog Powell, big part of that comeback in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He tied the game with a home run, just his second major league home run. His other came in Baltimore. He hit a 0-2 slider from Ken Giles over the wall and right to tie the game at 8. And then the A's would walk it off with Jed Lowry with an RBI single. 2-0 the count. It'll be Powell, Josh Phegley, and Marcus Semien. Powell around the bunt, takes a strike. It's 2-1. Charlie's allowed 4 hits so far. He's walked a couple, and he has struck out 6. Misses the corner again. It's 3-1. In 2 starts against the A's this year, Morton over 10 innings of work has struck out 18. But he's also allowed 7 runs, 6 of them earned. One of the runs today an unearned run. Powell into left field. Fisher comes on and makes a nice sliding catch. Astros have had trouble retiring Boog Powell. It took a nice catch by Fisher and left to get him for the first out of the 4th.
Very nice play. They're playing an extreme shift in the outfield. Derek Fisher playing a little bit deep in towards that line. Had to come back to that traditional position to make a sliding catch. Good play. Dressed it up nicely for TV.
1 out, nobody on. Speaking of dressing up nicely for TV, a lot of fans very disappointed during that commercial break. Ground ball towards the ship. At shortstop, Correa makes the play for out 2. The big hat is gone in this 3-0 game. Enjoy Budweiser Happy Hour at the Brew House next Friday the 15th before the Astros game against the Mariners. Happy Hour includes $6 Budweiser signature draft beers, a live DJ, games, and more. Visit Astros.com to get tickets now. That will be the first game back after this 11-day, 10-game road trip, which also includes a couple of off days. Quick draw.
Quick draw.
Quick draw McGraw. This ball is pulled foul off the bat, Simeon. It's a good look.
Hey, not everybody can pull it off.
Gene could, our stage manager.
Oh, Shirogin, team player.
He had it on in the break. Pitch misses. It's 1-1. One of the better skits in SNL history. Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yes.
Never got old.
He really didn't.
There was a lot of the same characters that repeated in various episodes, and it still was outstanding.
Some of the classics in there. Yeah.
Some of the misstatements on the on the categories.
We'll just leave that for the highlight reel. You can look it up on YouTube.
1-2 pitch is up. It's 2-2.
You look it up.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
Wait,
a good
you looked up yourself.
I know. I was waiting for you to jump in and
sorry.
get me. I gave you a layup.
Julia has been just throwing layups out there lately. We never can comment on them because it's usually during her open hit when we're not involved in the broadcast. 3-2 the count.
Might be doing that on purpose.
Your mics are killed.
She knows
That's
it
when
too.
I drop it, yeah.
You know you're safe. 3-2 the count to Simeon. 2 outs, bases cleared. And another walk issue. That's the third issued by Morton. A 2-out walk to the leadoff hitter Marcus Simeon.
It would have been nice to see Charlie get that clean inning out of the way. Trying to get that offense out there.
I think Charlie would say this has not been his most effective day with his command. At times we have seen it. Had a 1-2-3 opportunity in that inning and could not come through. 3 walks is a little bit high for Charlie, and now he faces Matt Joyce. Joyce has been struck out twice, 2 of the 6 strikeouts for Morton. He's around a bunt against the shift. He showed it early, and he still bunted it foul. It's 0-1. It's a guy who sees the shift and knows he hasn't really seen Charlie Morton very well and figures this is my best chance to get on base. Now Bregman stays a little truer towards the infield. Joyce takes it for a ball. It's 1-1.
Part of the order's taking a beating against Charlie Morton. That's probably why Matt Joyce was squared around a bunt.
The 2, 3, 4 have been normally the toughest part of the lineup for the A's, but in this game Morton has owned them. 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. Up and away, it's 2-1. Morton starting with 6 days rest, as will Brad Peacock, pitching game 2 of this doubleheader. Justin Verlander on Tuesday will be pitching on 6 days rest. At some point, the Astros will go back to a 5-man rotation. They've had the doubleheaders on back-to-back Saturdays. And now there's a little uncertainty with Colin McHugh having to leave the game early. So we'll see how it all plays out for A.J. Hinch. 2-2 the count as Joyce misses the breaking ball. you're also getting to that point in the season, 3 weeks and a day left in the regular season, where you're starting to want to line up your rotation so it blends right into October and the first round of the playoffs. Called third strike. Joyce out on strikes for the third time today. Charlie Morton has 7 strikeouts, and we head to the 5th in a 3-0 game. On AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. We welcome you back to Oakland, California, the Coliseum, the site for the doubleheader today. Beautiful day to be on the water. Todd Callis alongside Cal Bear. Jeff Blum spent a lot of time in this area.
Believe it. Sparky, we were driving over on the bus today, and Sparky couldn't believe I actually had to attend college up here. He was a little bit jealous, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple of campuses that it is definitely a distraction with the beauty of the area. Pepperdine comes to mind. Max Stassi leads off the 5th inning. You had a good time up here, huh?
No, I had a blast. No, I was a California kid, but growing up in Southern California and having an opportunity to come back up north. I was born in Redwood City and eventually moved down to Southern California. But yeah, I loved it up here. Established a pretty good network of friends and family.
Max Stassi, a line drive single into center field for a base hit. And Stassi, who took over for Juan Centeno as a defensive replacement after Centeno was hit on a backswing, has now been on base twice, a walk and a single. That's the number 9 hitter getting it done against Daniel Gossett. That's the trend all year.
George Springer.
Here's George Springer.
Played against A.J. Hinch when he was at Stanford. He was a big recruit out of Oklahoma, and he ended up out over here at Stanford. But I played against him when he was a freshman. I was a junior. Yes, I'm older than our manager.
Did you get to know him much in college?
No, not at all. It was just a lot of hype, and as a upperclassman, you hear about the hype from the guy at the rival college, and really didn't think much of him back then.
Plus Stanford Cal.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, you don't like. I don't like trees
because of Stanford.
Because of Stanford.
0-1 the count to Springer. Now you guys have come full circle.
Yep. Now I enjoy everything he's doing.
Pitch in the dirt. Stassi takes advantage. That's a nice advancement there by one catcher watching another catcher not have the ball leave the area too far. And Stassi got a really good secondary lead and advanced to base.
No, it was a good secondary, and it was anticipating ball in the dirt. You're right. Maybe a little bit of experience, understanding that Fagley wasn't too aggressive coming out from behind home plate. That was a great jump.
Good heads-up base running by Stassi puts him in scoring position, and now Springer with a count of 1-1. George checks his swing on a ball in the dirt. It's 2-1. Casa must have pretty good movement with that slider today, because we have seen a lot of check swings. Some have been called strikes. That one Springer held up.
And I feel like opposing pitchers, the program against these Astros hitters recently, and at least in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, has been off speed early and then fastballs late with 2-strike counts. But yeah, if a guy has a good slider like Gossett has today, it's been very effective in keeping Astro hitters off balance.
Springer does get the fastball and fouls it. It's 2-2. George with a team high 31 home runs. He's part of the 70 RBI club. He has 75. Marwin has 78. Reddick has 78. And Altuve has 74. It'll be a tight race for the team leading RBIs this year, because you also have Carlos Correa sitting there at 68. He hasn't gotten rolling yet since coming back from the DL, but when he does, he'll make a bid as well. Popped up right field, long run for Joyce. He is going to get there and put it away for out number 1. Springer pops up to shallow right. He's the first out of the inning.
Now batting.
The Astros very well could set a major league record this year. First team, they're the highest run total for a team without a 100 RBI guy on their roster. Right now, Marwin and Reddick with 78 would need to make a big push to get to 100. The Astros with 22 games to go, they would need an RBI a game the rest of the way. Bregman has lined out and flied out to left. Takes a pitch in the dirt. It's 1-0. Alex hit the ball hard his first time up. Astros could use just something here to get some momentum going. They have not had any success in the first 4 innings with runners in scoring position against Gossett. There's a ball driven deep to left field off the bat of Bregman. Back goes Davis. It's off the wall. Around third comes Stassi. He is going to score. Bregman an RBI double. The Astros on the board. It's now 3-1.
Asking you shall receive, Todd Callis. That's that big hit they've been waiting for. Hopefully this opens things up a little bit. Trading places with Stassi. Man, center cut. Good swing, head down on it, drive through it. He may have actually gotten a little bit too quick. He got that off the end of the bat. If he barrels that up, he shoots that out of here easily.
Astros had been 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position prior to that hit by Bregman. And now Jose Altuve bats. Altuve 1 for 2, a single his first time up. He was frustrated with himself after a check swing comebacker his last time. Towards short, hung up as Bregman between second and third. Simeon is going to tag him himself, and now Altuve has to hustle back to first. Bregman getting caught on the ground ball to short. Altuve lives on the fielder's choice.
Got to make sure that ball gets through. Running themselves out of it out. Talked the other day about Jake Marisnick making that ball be on his left. If that baseball's on your right side as a base runner at second base, do not go unless you know it's going to be a for sure base hit.
You can see where Simeon was positioned. That ball was to the right of Bregman. Just a mistake there, breaking for third.
Well, and even the good teams will go out there and try and force the issue or press a little bit, if you want to use that word. Sometimes you get a little too aggressive or make a not a very good choice, and you can kind of take the momentum out of an inning.
Pitch misses to Correa for the first time today. Correa will not be down on the count 0-2. Carlos still trying to get things rolling, has a couple of strikeouts today. Gossett has a career high 7 strikeouts in the game. He's gotten Correa twice, Marisnick twice. Altuve picked off first base. Jose was leading a little bit, and Gossett picks him off to end the 5th. Astros do get 1 run back on the RBI double by Alex Bregman. They now trail 3-1.
Coliseum, and Charlie Morton will get back to work, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits so far. The 5th inning, though, typically where Charlie begins to struggle as the game goes on. We've seen hitters get more comfortable, especially against his fastball and cutter. We're going to show you some numbers right here. On that fastball, look at the difference. 5th inning on goes from 217 with the first 4 innings to 392. Quite the jump for hitters who are just maybe seeing it the 3rd time through, just getting more comfortable in the box as well. But I was talking to AJ Hinch about this, saying AJ was saying that it's more about the way he's pitching these guys later in the games. You've got to change it up. You've got to keep them guessing, whether it's pitch backwards or just approach them in a different way. That's what Charlie needs to do with these last few starts in September, Todd.
He pitched Jed Lowry very well in this at bat, Julia, and he looked like he may have had a strikeout there. That's the same pitch that froze Matt Joyce to get the final out of the 4th inning. He starts it right on the hip, it looks like, of the left-hand hitter, and it tries to come across the plate. And now a ground ball towards the middle. Correa off balance throw, and he gets Jed Lowry. Nice play by the Astros shortstop. That was Marwin Gonzalez, up the middle, who made the backhand play. He was shifted around in the right side of the second base when this play started.
Pretty incredible play by Marwin, moving all over the field, has plenty of range getting to it, and then the jump throw across his body and picked by his good buddy down there, Tyler White. Should provide a little bit of a lift for Charlie Morton, getting that first out on a great play.
But what Julie was talking about was that fastball getting hit a little bit the last time through. If you can get ahead of the hitter, he's got so much run on that 2-seam fastball. It's been the right-hand hitters, though, that have given him more trouble, because he's been able to both dive it away from left-hand hitters and start it on the hip, like we've seen him against Joyce and Lowry, to try and get that called 3rd strike. The righties are the ones that have given him more problems this year, and that's kind of unusual based on his past.
It's usually that running sinker ties up right-handed hitters. They either bury it in the ground or just get it completely blown up.
Charlie at 95 pitches, trying to keep a string going of every start this year, going at least 5 innings. 3-1 on Chris Davis. Only 2 other pitchers in Astros history have had a longer streak at the start of a career than Charlie Morton's 21 straight. Started their Astros career, that is. Brett Myers and Doug Drabek. Three and 2 on Davis. Tyler Clippard warming up in the Astros bullpen. There's a line drive over Marlins' head into left field for a base hit. Davis now 1 for 3 with a 1-out single.
Now batting first baseman, number 28, Matt Olson.
Make sure you get that MLB.com at-bat app. It's the #1 app for Astros baseball. Cool features, StatCast, game day, live highlights. You can download it at MLB.com at-bat today.
All loose in the outfield. Time is called as Matt Olson will bat. One of Tyler Clippard's pitches ended up on the warning track in right center that Springer has to track down. Olson has doubled in walks, scored a run. Scored the first run of the game for the A's. All the runs for Oakland scoring in the second inning. There's a called strike. Astros employ the shift against Olson. 3 on the right side of the infield. And another strike. It's 0-2. Charlie has thrown as many as 108 pitches in a start this year. And again, he's working with extended rest, working with 6 days rest. So AJ may stay a little longer with him, although now Olson with a base hit to right. That sends Davis first to third, and with runners on the corners, the A's threatening with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Did a good job getting ahead with the curveball, then a fastball elevated up out over the plate. And he talked about how the unique stance of Olson, his hands out there, that allows him the opportunity with a pitch up out over the plate to keep those arms extended and drive through it.
Number 25, Ryan Healy.
He's been on base 3 times, single, double, and a walk, and now Ryan Healy the batter. Healy is grounded to Altuve and struck out. Takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Charlie coming in 6th in the American League in opponents' batting average against. Since being activated from the DL on July 7th, he has been limiting opponents' hits. But tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, 6 A's hits so far in 4 1/3 innings. Stays 0-2 on Healy. Charlie has thrown 108 pitches, 107 and 105, his 3 high totals on the year. He's about to throw pitch number 105 in this game. Already a career high in strikeouts and wins. With every strikeout, he moves that number up 1. And he gets another one, his 8th of the game and his 147th of the season. Big strikeout there. First and third, 1 out. Now 2 away.
Charlie did a good job getting that breaking ball. You could see why they talk about spin rates. That downward spin creates that good break on that. Ain't done yet.
Still needs 1 more with Matt Chapman, the batter. He's playing along with the thinking of A.J. Hinch with Clippard up in the bullpen. They like Clippard against lefties, even though we've seen Morton be effective against lefties this year. This could be the last hitter for Charlie with that pitch count approaching his season high. 0-1 the count to Chapman. Matt has tripled to right and grounded into a fielder's choice. Morton ahead 0-2. Charlie takes a walk behind the mound to regroup. He'll make his 109th pitch, highest total as an Astro, with the next delivery. In the dirt, runner's going to try and advance, and he will. Wild pitch allows Olsen to advance to second base.
No big deal for me. It was a good job by Charlie trying to bury that to get the chase. Stassi did a good job of blocking it. All his concern was keeping that ball in front and not allowing Chris Davis to cross home plate and giving Charlie another opportunity to get a big punch out.
Charlie wants Max to know the pitch that he's comfortable with.
Good job by Stassi. Squared it up, get that body as far in front of that baseball as you can.
Into left field. Fisher is there. Morton is going to get through 5 for a 22nd straight start as an Astro. It was an adventure today, his season high pitch count, but it works out for Charlie in a 3-1 game.
lead the Astros. Carlos Correa due up here. A couple of strikeouts for him today. And just the timing isn't quite there yet as he works his way back from the disabled list. But Correa not really frustrated just yet. He knows that this is all part of it. He needs more at-bats. He's DHing today. This would give him a chance to think hitting today, and that's it. And they've actually been watching a lot of video of him back in Toronto. If you remember how hot he was back then. The swing right now is good. That's all fine, but what needs to change right now is his load. So he's trying to get his weight loaded on his back leg so he doesn't drift forward. I know Blummer can help explain that a little further, but that's what's going on with Correa right now.
Couple of strikeouts today. Julian has been down in the count the first couple of at-bats. Takes pitch up and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Starts the 6th inning off with the Astros down 3-1. Daniel Gossett a career high 7 strikeouts. Misses the corner there. It's 2-0. Correa, Marwin Gonzalez, and Tyler White in the 6th inning. Astros scoring their lone run the last inning on an RBI double by Alex Bregman. Pop up on the right side, foul territory. Olsen puts it away. Almost had it pop out of his glove, but he makes the catch for out number 1. So 1 out. I'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez.
Number 9, Marwin Gonzalez.
Marwin,
there's just no reason to panic on Carlos. I'm just getting back to him. You know, the pop out wasn't exactly an aggressive attempt, but there's no panic for me watching Carlos Correa, and I know for you too. He's just too good of a talent to be in a funk for this long. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, and we saw it early in the year too. Right out of the gates, he struggled early.
What I love about Carlos is he's just an absolute workhorse. He gets in the cage. He works with Dave Hudgens and Alonzo Powell quite a bit. And it's just a matter of time. He is just way too talented not to get back in that groove.
It's probably tougher with being the DH today because each at bat
dwell on it.
Each at bat wears on you. I saw him after the first AB head back to the clubhouse. That could have been for any particular reason, but it was possibly to look at video.
Well, you know what's funny is I was almost going to talk to the fact that DHing in some of these stadiums is okay because there's cages that you can go to. Here at Oakland, there is no place to run. It's a pretty good jaunt to get back in the clubhouse, and once you get back there, you're nowhere near a batting cage. All you can do is sit there and look at video and maybe try and swing in the clubhouse a couple times. The only cage that's available to hitters is out behind the center field fence.
If you ever come to a game here in Oakland, you see guys walking out to center field. That's where they're heading. The batting cage is not very close to the clubhouses at all. 2 quick outs for Gossett in the 6th inning. The Astros have not been able to solve Gossett except for 1 run so far. As he faces Tyler White. White had a double his last time up off the left center field wall. Hit it about 385 feet. Gossett coming off 3 consecutive starts where he allowed 24 hits in 15 1/3 innings. At Seattle, at LA, at Baltimore his last 3, but today he's limited the Astros to just 5 hits working in the 6th. Up high, it's 3-1. Astros facing a couple of righties today. Daniel Gossett game 1, Daniel Mengden game 2. Mengden, a kid out of Houston. Ground ball towards short. 2 big hops for Simeon. And a 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Gossett. He is through 5.5 innings with a 3-1 lead. The 6th inning, Astros fans out here in Oakland watching a little doubleheader baseball today between the A's and the Astros. Charlie Morton departs after 5 innings. Charlie allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 6 hits, 3 walks. He struck out 8, and now he will turn things over to Tyler Clippard.
Tyler Clippard on for the Houston Astros. Numbers on the season between 3 different teams, making that 61st appearance. 4.67 ERA in 54 innings pitched.
Clippard facing 8-9-1 in the A's lineup. Boog Powell, who has been a thorn in the Astros side this year, finally retired on a sliding catch by Derek Fisher his last time up. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Pitch misses. It's 2-0. There's a strike. Astros picked up Clippard on August 13th for a player to be named later. Counts 2-2.
Good heater from Tyler Clippard. He's effective against lefties because he's got 2 different changeups. Basically, one acts like a traditional changeup, and then he has one that is more of a split finger.
The count's full. Charlie Morton's day is done. Season high 110 pitches thrown by Morton. That's his Astros high. 70 for strikes. That ball's into right center field with the shift the other way. That's going to fall in for a hit. Jake slips, but Powell would have gotten into second either way. He has a leadoff double in the 6th.
It's actually a pretty good job by Jake to get over there and cut that ball off. He had a long way to go to get back to right center field. That ball gets by him. Powell's standing on third base.
The catcher, number 19, Josh.
See that wide open gap.
So 2 more hits for Powell against the Astros. Here's Josh Phegley. Astros expecting a bunt. Phegley not showing bunt, pulls 1 foul. Mentioned Clippard was traded from the White Sox to the Astros on the 13th. In baseball lexicon, player to be named later is often shortened to PTBNL. That is what Josh Phegley chose to wear during Players Weekend on his jersey.
It's a good one.
That was a good one. Many people felt like it was one of the more clever nicknames for Phegley or for anybody. The Astros have had some quality players to be named later deals, including Chris Davinsky. He was a PTBNL guy. Worked out pretty well from the White Sox. 0-2 the count to Phegley. Now the Astros are due to send somebody to the White Sox to complete that deal at some point for Tyler Clippard. Check swing will scurry those out of the Astros dugout, including Justin Verlander. It's 0-2. Runner on the move, and it's a ground ball towards Altuve. He backhands it and makes the play. Powell at third base with one out. Nice play by Altuve to get the out on Fegley.
That was a good play by Altuve. It would have been interesting to see if they would have sent Powell.
Now batting shortstop.
Altuve ranging far to his right, running away from both first base and home plate. But it would have been a tough play to try and get that runner at home plate, but a good play to get that runner at first by Jose Altuve.
Infield comes in now with one out and a runner on third. Pitch inside to Semien, 1-0. Semien been on base 3 times. Double. Reached on a fielder's choice and error. Charlie Morton trying to make a play coming home on a comebacker to the mound, and also walked. Three and 0.
Swinging away 3-0. Good chance he'll be swinging away at 3-1 if he gets that fastball again.
Semien's been better as the season has gone along. 283 in August. That's that average up to 260. He is swinging away, and it's now 3-2. Clippard taking over in the 6th inning, trying to keep this a 2-run game at 3-1. Tough pitch to stay alive. Semien somehow got a piece. Semien with a grand slam last night. That matched his career high in RBIs with one swing. Had 3 grand slams in his career. Missed the corner, and now runners on first and third with one out. This is Clippard's inning. Nobody else warming up in the Astros bullpen. For that matter, nobody warming in the A's bullpen either. So Daniel Gossett will at least get a shot to begin the 7th inning. Clippard will face Matt Joyce. Matt's happy that Charlie Morton's out of the game. Joyce went 0 for 3 against Morton with 3 strikeouts. Runner on the move. No throw from Stassi. That takes the double play out of order as Semien steals his 10th bag of the year.
That was a ridiculously good jump by Marcus Semien. Clippard paying no attention to the runner at first base. He took off in a hurry. At least a step and a half before Clippard even delivered the ball.
A's don't run much, but Semien's the one guy that does. That's 10 steals. He leads the team. That makes the infield come in all on the right side of the infield, at least 3/4 of them. The 1-0 count. Joyce checks his swing and called strike. Gonzalez, Altuve, White, all on the right side of the infield. The other guy that used to run a little bit for the A's, Rajai Davis, no longer with the team.
2 pitches for Clippard, only 11 strikes. He's had a real issue locating his off-speed pitches in the zone.
Up high, it's 3-1. Leadoff double, a ground out, a walk, and now he's down to the count. 3-1 to Joyce. A.J. Hinch is going to make a call down to the bullpen as Clippard is struggling in this inning. Bases are loaded. Back-to-back walks issued in the 6th.
So it might be James Hoyt grabbing that baseball down there, getting loose in that Astros bullpen. It's been some tough treks to the mound for Brent Strom. Not only is it a long way to go, there's been some tough conversations in some crucial situations.
Long talk of the mound with Clippard, Brent Strom, and Max Stassi. Now Clippard will prepare to face Jed Lowry. Lowry won the game for the A's last night with a walk-off single to center field.
Second baseman, Jed Lowry.
Today Lowry's 0 for 3, and that includes a great play by Marwin Gonzalez to retire him his last time up. Also struck out twice against Morton. Want to know the count. Before last night's loss, the Astros had won 10 straight games here at the Oakland Coliseum. Overall, the Astros are 12-4 on the year against the A's. But down 3-1 with the A's threatening for more in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Two and 1. 25 pitches in. Clippard has thrown more balls than strikes. Clippard has walked in a run. He has walked 3 consecutive hitters, Simeon, Joyce, and Lowry. And that forces in a run as Powell crosses the plate. And A.J. Hinch is going to go back to his bullpen as Clippard is having trouble locating in the 6th inning. Well, Clippard's afternoon is over, at least for game 1, and he will turn it over to James Hoyt. We'll tell you about Hoyt when we come back. Night's game for the best fireworks show in town, presented by Occidental Petroleum. Next weekend's Friday night's fireworks display will be synced to superhero-themed hits. Visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. Next Friday night, Mariners will be in town. Here, the Astros trail the A's 4-1, bottom half of the 6th inning. And after Tyler Clippard walked 3 in a row, including a bases-loaded walk, the Astros go to the bullpen again for James Hoyt.
James Hoyt trying to keep this ball game right where it's at. That's going to be a tall task. This will be his 39th appearance and his 3rd stint with these Houston Astros. Last time we saw him was back on August 17th against the Arizona Diamondbacks, when a solid inning, struck out 1 through 14 pitches. There's welcome backs, and then there's welcome back. The bases are loaded. Help me out here.
And facing Chris Davis.
Ooh.
Davis 1 for 3, singled his last time up, batting with the bases full. And he hits one towards the middle, past the diving Marwin Gonzalez. 2 runs will score. In to score is Simeon and Joyce. And the A's now lead this game 6-1. First pitch Davis sees, grounds a single into center field.
RBIs 100 and 101 for Chris Davis.
Now batting first baseman, 28, Matt Olson.
Not a bad pitch. Good breaking ball early, but Marwin Gonzalez playing the power hitter to pull just a little bit. A step behind that ball as it gets by him.
Here's Matt Olson. He's been on base all 3 times. Double, walk, and a single. Chris Davis with back-to-back 100 RBI seasons. First A's player to do that since both Miguel Tejada and Eric Chavez did it. Tejada did it from 2000 through 2003. Chavez from 01 to 03. Those were 2 big parts of the 2002 team that we referenced earlier that won 20 games in a row. Since 1953, only 2 teams have won 17 games or more in a row. The current Indian streak and the 2002 A's, who won 20 straight. Hoyt with a count of 2-1 on Olson. 3-1. 3 runs this inning charged to Tyler Clippard. Clippard's responsible for Jed Lowry on second. Chris Davis with a 2 RBI single. And the A's turning a 3-1 lead into a 6-1 ball game. Olsen into left field. Fisher back. Right in front of the track, makes the play for out number 2. Well, 2 outs, 2 on, and that'll bring up Ryan Healy.
25, Ryan Healy.
Healy 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. When Hoyt was going well earlier in the year, he was picking up a lot of strikeouts. This is an A's team that is about to set their team record for the most strikeouts in a season. Hoyt coming in to today, striking out 12 2/3 batters per 9 innings. And 7th amongst AL relievers. 1-1 the count to Ryan Healy.
Really big months in May and June. May 21 punch outs. June he had 23. It's also the most innings he's pitched in 2 months here in the show.
Seemed like as the season went on, where Hoyt ran into problems, he wasn't getting the swing and miss as much on the slider. Maybe they were either taking it or he wasn't throwing as effective a slider as the season went along. But he's ahead of Healy 1-2.
It's just interesting that month of June where he had the season high as far as the month is concerned with 23 strikeouts. He gave up 4 home runs and 13 earned runs. So it was a high punch out, high ERA month for him.
He gets Healy there swinging, so there's a strikeout to end the inning for James Hoyt. But the A's double up their run total with a 3 spot in the 6th and lead it 6-1.
Is going to fall on Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon. September 9th, 1967, he hit home runs 34 and 35, becoming the first player in Houston history with 35+ home runs in a season. Had a 37 home run season, 1967, 33 home runs in 1969, 32 in 1974.
50 years ago.
Pretty incredible to think it's been a half century ago.
Still see him pop up at the ballpark every once in a while. We saw Julia interview him earlier this year. We head to the 7th. Daniel Gossett still out there with a 6-1 lead. There is bullpen action finally going for the A's. Gossett has pitched very well against the Astros, limiting them to 5 hits and a run. Gossett walked back-to-back batters to start the 3rd, but other than that, he's been pretty much on point with a career-high 7 strikeouts.
No, he has looked amazingly comfortable on the mound today here in Oakland.
Fisher is flied out and grounded out. And Derek with a 2-1 count.
Slider right there has been very effective. Slider, just a late little break on it. Has been unable to pick it up and square it up.
Two and two. Double barrel action for the A's. Lefty Daniel Coulombe and the righty Ryan Dull. Now the count's full. Gossett approaching 100 pitches. His high total came a couple of starts ago in LA at 103. Ball 4. Walks Fisher to start the 7th. That is not what you want if you're the A's in a 6-1 lead. And with that in mind, Bob Melvin, after seeing an initial walk to start the inning, is going right to his bullpen. Well, Gossett will go 6 innings plus 1 batter into the 7th inning. His 3rd walk allowed. So far, just 1 run for the highest scoring offense in baseball, and he's responsible for the runner on first. He'll get a nice hand on his way out. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. The Astros 6-1. Jake Barisnik due up. Glad he doesn't have to face Daniel Gossett, who struck him out a couple of times. He and hitting coach Dave Hudgens going over the scouting report on this guy, Ryan Dull.
Trying to figure out the tendencies. Also trying to understand what pitches he comes at you with. Fastball doesn't throw very hard. 91.5 miles an hour is the average velocity on the fastball. Mixes up the changeup and the slider. 14 appearances against the Astros in his career with 1.13 ERA.
Jake in his first start since August 31st, a couple of strikeouts. Down to the count, 0-1 to Dull. Daniel Gossett, 6 innings. So far, 1 run allowed, responsible for that guy, Derek Fisher on first. Stoll last year had a great rookie season. He was in the top 10 in games pitched, the most of any American League rookie. This year hasn't been quite as effective as he misses in the dirt. It's 1-1. Against righties, it'll be all fastball, slider, and then that change Blummer mentioned, he'll mix in more lefties. Gossett was very good today. Limited the Astros all afternoon long. Take down to the count, 1-2. About 30 minutes after game 1, we'll have our game 2 matchup. Daniel Mengden will go for the A's. He'll be opposed by Brad Peacock. On the ground towards third. Chapman to second for 1. Lowry the turn and a double play. Just like that, the A's get 2 outs in the 7th.
Good turn, not easy to do on Jake off the end of the bat. Chapman does a good job of funneling that into the center part of his body and throws a rocket that almost handcuffs Jed Lowry. Just ahead of the speedy Jake Marisnick.
That closes out the book for Daniel Gossett as that runner's erased. And now Stassi on 2 hops to the third baseman Chapman, who shows off that arm for the final out of the inning. 7th inning stretch time from the Oakland Coliseum with the A's leading 6-1.
Chevy Stropole. We asked you, how important is a September win streak or a strong finish to a team's postseason success? You vote very important. 73% is the winner today. You hear people say don't peak too early or a team's getting hot at the right time. There's got to be something to it, right, guys?
If you're the Indians, you're peaking right now. I mean, how can you top 17 straight?
I don't know. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
But you always want to have a little bit of momentum and a little bit of joy going into those playoffs. You don't want to be limping in there because then you almost anticipate can't anticipate what's going to happen. But if you go in and you're swinging the bats well and the pitching staff is rounding into shape, you got that certain level of confidence going into that first round. It's always nice.
Bottom half of the 7th inning, James Hoyt on for his first full inning of work. Got the last 2 outs of the 6th. He'll face the bottom third of the order. Matt Chapman, Boog Powell, and Josh Begley. Well, the Astros came into this series with all the momentum in the world. They had won 7 in a row. They had won 10 in a row here at this stadium. And they were up 7-3 last night, looking like both of those streaks might continue. They end up losing that game 9-8, and even then you're thinking, all right, this is a team that has had some tough losses this year and always been able to bounce back. But today, Daniel Gossett shutting them down for 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and the Astros trail 7-1.
Well, last night was just interesting in the sense that they still scored 8 runs, which is very good. Had 11 hits, so the offense, you could say, okay, they were still swinging the bats. The bullpen just didn't. They had an off night. And then you show up today, and they've got 1 run to show for it in 7 innings.
Another good play by Marwin defensively. He's played a nice shortstop today. Out number 1 in the 7th. The Astros at one point had a 13-game lead for the best record in the American League. At the time, it was over Boston. That lead, if they don't win this game, will be down to a half game. Ever since they won that first game in New York of the Yankee series back in May the 11th, they have had the best record in the AL since that date. So almost 4 months in, as we're at September 9th now. But the Indians making a push as Altuve throws out Duke Powell for out number 2.
The Houston Astros have set up a website so that all fans can help raise much needed funds for Hurricane Harvey relief. Visit youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey to donate today.
There are the current best records in baseball, or excuse me, in the American League. The Astros will have played the same number of games as the Indians at the end of today, and need at least 1 win to maintain that 1-game lead. Called strike to Fegley. It's 0-1. Josh Fegley has walked, and he's 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs since the walk. Couple of 3-run innings for the A's, a 3-run second and a 3-run 6th. Walks a big factor in the 6th. 3 walks issued by Tyler Clippard to consecutive hitters. A couple of errors factored into the 3-run second. Fegley with a base hit over Alex Bregman's head into the corner and left. Fegley a 2-out base runner with a double. Second hit allowed by Hoyt.
Now batting shortstop, number 10, Marcia Semien.
And Astros pitching yet to have a 1-2-3 inning in this ball game.
A's offense has not been their issue lately, even though they had lost 8 in a row prior to Wednesday's game. Their offense over the last 15 games batting .280, scoring 5.5 runs per game during that stretch. Their starters have given up some runs. In fact, when Gossett went 6 innings today, he was the first starter not named Sean Manaea to go more than 5 innings in the last 2 times through the rotation for Oakland. And their bullpen has had some issues as well over the course of the year. But they lead 6-1 as Brent Strom has a word with James Hoyt. Ramin Gudwan has begun to loosen in the Astros bullpen.
I believe this is just to get Ramin a couple of pitches to try and get him loose. If it just so happens that James Hoyt is unable to get through, Marcus Semien and Matt Joyce comes to the plate.
That would be your spot for Ramin. You've got Joyce, and then probably rather see Jed Lowry bat right-handed than lefty. It's a little stall tactic there, and we're ready to go with 2 outs. Hoyt just trying to get Semien as he misses outside for ball 1. Astros have not kept Semien off base the entire game. Double, a couple of walks, runs scored, fielder's choice, and an error. I guess in the category of things could be worse, Brewers lead the Cubs 15-0, and the Cubs have just 3 hits.
It's a rough afternoon.
Tough day at Wrigley. Wrigleyville will have a little earlier crowds than normal. People will be streaming out of there to continue their Saturday afternoon. Probably not as interesting. Oh, the Cubs just scored a run as I spoke. 15-1 now, so they are going crazy at Wrigley. 3-0 the count to Semien. This could be Hoyt's last batter, you would think. And if it is, he finishes with a walk, as Semien has now walked 3 consecutive times and has been on base all 5 times today. 4-pitch walk to Semien. A.J. Hinch out of the dugout. He will go to Ramin Gudwan. We'll take a break and come back after this. Bottom half of the 7th inning. James Hoyt went an inning and a third between the 6th and the 7th innings. Got a couple of outs in each, and now with 2 runners on and 2 outs, Ramin Gudwan is called out of the bullpen.
Good to see Ramin Gudwan back here in the show. Strong left arm, fastball, slider, making that 18th appearance.
Lefty was due up, Matt Joyce. They're going to go to a pinch hitter. Chad Pinder will hit for Joyce. Gudwan
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen.
been back and forth a few times this year with the Astros.
Pinder, batting for Joyce.
Last 10 appearances going back to July 17th until he last pitched on the 12th of August. He had 9 scoreless. Right now, just trying to keep the game at 6-1. Pinder hitting for Joyce. Fouled back to the screen. The A's have had a lot of base runners today. They have 9 hits, and the Astros have also issued 7 walks. 3 by Charlie Morton, 3 by Tyler Clippard. In the last batter James Hoyt faced, he walked.
That is an excessive number, and I know that Rayburn's strike zone behind home plate hasn't been great, but still, it wouldn't expect the pitching staff for the Astros to have that many walks.
1-1 to count. And the key for Gudwan has been able to throw strikes. 6 walks in his 13 innings of work. Ball sent in the air to right center field. George is calling off Jake. Springer makes the catch for the final out. So we're through 7. Astros trail this game 6-1. Astros need a big rally, down 6-1 in the 8th. They will have the top of the order due up, facing the right-hander Ryan Dull, George Springer, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve. Springer's been on base once with a walk, 0 for 2 officially. Astros have 5 hits today, 3 singles and a couple of doubles. Last night the Astros hit 3 2-run home runs and still lost the game 9-8. Springer takes a pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The stars of the last 3 games offensively for the Astros not in the lineup today. We should see them in game 2 of the doubleheader. Cameron Maybin was the star on Tuesday and Wednesday with 2-run home runs in the 9th and 7th innings to win those games. And then Josh Reddick, the star of last night's game, with a 4 RBI, 3-hit performance against his former team. Both those guys getting game 1 off as Springer pops up for out number 1.
Now batting.
That'll bring up Alex Bregman.
All day it seems like the Astro hitters have either been guessing wrong or the A's pitching has just done a very good job of keeping them off balance. Only that AB for George Springer, taking a fastball 1-0. Not right down the middle, but a good fastball to hit middle in. And then he takes a pass at a slider and gets blown up and hits a weak fly ball to the second baseman. And we've seen a lot of these guys, not like the first night where they were squaring everything up and there was a high exit velo type game. We're not seeing that here today.
Oh, the bats have been relatively quiet. One of the few to hit the ball hard today is Alex Bregman. Bregman lined out his first time up to the third baseman, then hit a ball off the left center field wall to score the Astros' only run. That came in the 5th inning.
No real shadows to deal with. It's still a good hitting background, even though the sun is shining bright. We're going to run into some issues probably in that second game of the doubleheader with some of the shadows floating across the Oakland Coliseum here.
And that doubleheader should start around a half an hour after the final out of game 1. Bregman down in the count 1-2 to Ryan Dull. Dull took over for Daniel Gossett with a runner on and nobody out in the 6th inning.
At this point, the Astros, I believe, are just trying to put together some quality ABs.
Bregman gets into one deep to left field. This ball is just foul, and a long foul ball off the bat of Bregman, just missing a home run.
Yeah, plenty of juice behind it, just couldn't keep it fair. I was going to say, have some quality ABs and hopefully it snowballs over into the second game. That was a pretty good bid by Alex Bregman.
Astros bench has a clear view of that left field pole, so they had a pretty good look at that ball. Bregman tries to hold up, and home plate umpire DJ Rayburn says he went around. Alex said, isn't that the first base umpire's call? He goes down for out number 2.
Now batting, number 27, Jose Altuve.
League leaders presented by Houston Methodist. Altuve first in all those categories on the road this year. 1 for 3 today, and his batting average dropped a point.
That one down there, the slugging percentage on the road. Some massive humans out there putting up some massive numbers, and Altuve's leading the way with the slugging percentage.
Altuve having an MVP type season. 0-1 the count. We saw in a recent homestand up on El Grande where they kind of spread out his name and go with the Altuve chant. That could be changed for the next homestand.
Yeah. MVP.
That's what I'm thinking. I like the fact that we're in sync.
I'm with you. No, I've been hollering at it for a long time. I truly believe that he is the MVP. And I think it would be great, or it is going to be great, when the Astros win the division and they name him MVP of a division winning team. That'll be something special.
He's been the one rock in this lineup. We've had injuries to pretty much everybody else around him. And Altuve has been the one guy all year long. He's up to, with his base hit his first time up, 186 hits. The majority of them coming on the road this year. Takes a pitch from Dull, up and away. It's 2-2. And he wears tough at bats. You can see how frustrated he was with that check swing comebacker back in the 3rd inning when he had runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. He's frustrated the rest of that inning on the bench, and then you can see him frustrated at second base the next inning. And this is a guy who never gives away an at-bat. 6-1 game, 8th inning. He's going to grind here, down 1-2, and now the count's full. Gets called for a 3rd strike on the inside corner. And Dull picks up a couple of strikeouts in the inning. And a 1-2-3-8. The 8th inning. 8th coming to bat against Ramin Gudwan. Gudwan got the last out of the 7th inning. He will face 3, 4, and 5 in the 8th. Jed Lowry, Chris Davis, and Matt Olson. Gudwan took over for James Hoyt, who took over for Tyler Clippard after Charlie Morton pitched 5 innings. Gudwan reappearing for the Astros, first time in almost a month. Called from AAA Fresno when rosters expanded. And this ball sent deep to left field. Fisher all the way back, and he's going to play it off the wall. It's off the top of the scoreboard and in play. Jed Lowry, his first debut right-handed, hits one a long way to left for a leadoff double in the 8th.
Just as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Not much going on for the Astros, so we're going to check out the big head race here at the Oakland Coliseum. You got Raleigh Fingers, Dennis Eckersley, and Riggy. Who else is going to win it? It's amazing the other two even stay in contention with the speed of Ricky. It's a big head.
It's a big head. It's funny.
Got a hat if he needs it.
They've had 73 races at home. Ricky's won 49 of them.
Expect a little more out of Ricky.
49 out of 73? It's a pretty good percentage.
Against 2 pitchers?
Here's Chris Davis. Takes a strike, 0-1. Davis a couple of base hits his last 2 times up. He's 2 for 4.
Seen Ricky around the ballpark quite a bit when we come through here. Down there in that A's dugout.
Gudwan ahead of Davis, 0-2.
I would love to just sit in and listen to some of the stories that guy could tell, because all the stories I've heard about him have been even better.
Rickey Henderson Field, home of the Oakland A's. Yeah, Rickey kind of did his thing. The world kind of revolved around Rickey.
Oh yeah, it did. He got it done.
Yeah, he did.
Getting on base, scoring runs. Love the story about the home runs, the leadoff home runs. George Springer has 9 on the season, but Rickey was asked, you know, why aren't you hitting any home runs? Just, I'm a leadoff guy, get on base, and then he finally figured out that everybody started getting paid. He figured out why they were getting paid. Rickey got to hit some home runs to get paid. Rickey started to hit some home runs. He got paid, and he was a dominant force.
That classic stutter step out of the box when he got into one.
Pick at that jersey, get a little sideways, drop the flap going around first base. Solid.
3-2 the count to Chris Davis. And a foul tip caught by Stassi. Gudwan has his first strikeout. And there's 1 out in the 8th. Astros, in addition to walking 7, have picked up a lot of strikeouts too. 8 for Morton.
Now batting first baseman, 28, Matt Wilson.
And 10 overall in the game. Here's Matt Olson. Olson finally retired his last time up, a double, a walk, a single, and he is also flied out to left. In the dirt, advancing to third will be Lowry on the wild pitch. Couple of righties warming up for the A's. Chris Hatcher, Simone Castro. Astros will bring the infield in here. And the pitch is away. It's 2-0. Now the count's 3-0. A's been playing a lot of long games lately. They played a lot of long games in their series against the Angels. They've been averaging over the last 6 games 3 hours and 40 minutes per game. That is walk number 8 issued by Astros pitching. Runners on first and third with 1 out. Stassi out to chat with Gudwan with runners on the corners, and Ryan Healy coming to the plate. This will be Gudwan's game to finish. Nobody else will get warm in that Astros bullpen with a doubleheader today. And a day game tomorrow. Want to save as many bullets as he can.
The luxury of that big lead in the American League West allows you to take chances like this and put it on Ramin Gudwan. I've said it all year long. There's real opportunities in being on that mound. Just a matter of how they react and how they handle the situation, because A.J. Hinch is taking notes on everything. So is Brent Strom and these guys. These coaches are grading some of these young guys out here even this late in the season.
I think that's the way it has to be. And even if, you know, Gudwan might not be a candidate for the postseason roster, but to me, these are outings that are more important than anything you can do in the spring.
Yeah.
Because the spring is a whole different animal. And you're getting your work in, and guys are working on different things. This is legit. You're facing these are the guys you need to face during the regular season.
No, the opportunity is to establish yourself as a big league pitcher. That's what you want to do. You want to go out there, and I'm sure Brent Strom several times is going out and going, hey, these numbers are going officially on the back of your baseball card for the rest of your life. Go ahead and make the adjustment. Show me that you can fight your way out of situations that you've created. The talent gets you here. A lot of times that mental adjustment and ability to get out of some of these jams is what will keep you here for a long time.
So far, bad visit, 3-0.
AJ Hinch keeping notes on those.
We always joke. We love Strom. We always joke about good visit, bad visit. That first pitch after he left the mound was about 4 feet high. First and third in a 3-0 count. We mentioned, hey, Goudouin's got an arm that can definitely play at this level. It's just a matter of consistently finding that command, and that's the challenge for the young pitcher. Another walk. 9 issued by the Astros. Back-to-back walks issued by Goudouin.
Well, there was a situation earlier that we saw Raymond Goudouin out in the bullpen in Minute Maid Park, and he was working with Craig Bjornson, the bullpen catcher out there, and Bjornson was literally standing maybe about 7 or 8 feet in front, in between home plate and Raymond Goudouin, and he was kind of making what looked like almost a circle or a window, and he's telling him, you know, your release point isn't, you're not going to make the adjustment on throwing strikes back close to your head. You really got to reach out and extend and get through the pitch to really make the adjustment on some of those deliveries. And for me right now, just watching Raymond Goudouin just kind of cutting off the delivery in the sense that he's not really releasing the ball and trying to throw through Stassi. He's just kind of aiming and then cutting the release point and the delivery off a little bit. And I am a very amateur pitching coach. Spent a lot of time hanging around pitchers out for 13, 14 years of my career, and talking to Steve Sparks. Those are just some of the things that I hear him talking about.
There's a strike.
At some point, that natural ability takes over a little bit. But what he wants him to do is, at release, he wants to see him release that ball a little bit further out front. You can see him almost cutting it off a little bit back here. And it's coming across the body as opposed to really letting go through home plate. Got to appreciate Tyler White giving a little bit extra effort.
Great White Shark was on the prowl there. He was attacking that baseball, but it ended up in the crowd. Bases loaded, 1 out. Double and a couple of walks in this inning. Two and two.
Here's a good look at it. The release point for Raymond, it's almost behind his head. What they really like to do is see him getting to this point and releasing through. But what he's doing is really bringing that arm down and cutting across the body, which isn't allowing him to extend through the strike zone. That's a tough delivery to repeat.
Leaving a lot of those fastballs up. Count 3 and 2. We've already seen 1 run walked in this game. Jed Lowry walked with the bases loaded. Three walks issued by Morton, 3 walks issued by Clippard. 1 walk issued by Hoyt, and now 3 consecutive walks issued by Goudouin. The carousel continues around the bases. It's now 7-1. Second bases loaded walk for the A's today. 10 hits to go along with.
Now batting center fielder, number 3.
And for me, this is where a manager kind of walks a fine line, because you don't want to destroy the man's ego, because he is struggling right now.
10 hits and 10 walks today. That is a new season high for walks issued by the Astros. They had walked 9 in the game against the Twins earlier. July 14th. 2-0 the count. Seven of these walks have come in the last 3 innings.
That means a majority of them have come from the Astros bullpen.
Juan searching for it right now. But you're right. It comes to a point soon where you may think about a position player or anybody.
There's one in there. J.D. Davis.
I agree. There's a strike. That with this expanded roster, you have some choices, and Michael Phillies is going to grab a baseball. Now Michael Phillies is going to grab a baseball and take a seat on the bench, because to the rescue comes J.D. Davis. The Phillies grabbed a baseball for about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. He thought he was going to warm up, but J.D. is now the pitcher of choice. Hal fouls one back. It's 3-2. Number 11. Last time the Astros walked 10 or more in a game was right here in Oakland back in 2014. That was before the turnaround where the Astros saw themselves winning 10 straight in this stadium. But Guduan has now walked 4 in a row, including back-to-back walks with the bases loaded. It's now an 8-1
now
game.
batting the catcher for 19, John.
Still
Quigley.
1 out. Fegley 1 for 3 with a walk and a double. Every spot in the lineup has walked at least once, with the exception of Chris Davis. One and one the count. It's tough to watch. Guduan just can't find the zone. 4 straight walks, 3 and 1 on Fegley. Feel for the young man right now. He just probably the last batter, with J.D. Davis having thrown a few pitches. There's a strike on the corner, painted it up.
It's tough too, because Fegley's not going to be happy about it. Rayburn is doing the best he can to will that ball in there for Ray Means so he can call it a strike.
Three bases loaded walks in this game, have scored 3 of the 8 runs for the A's. Make it 4. 4 bases loaded walks, including back-to-back-to-back-to-back walks in this inning. 5 straight, and that'll be enough. Raymond Goudouin will lead this game. It is 9-1, and we'll get to see J.D. Davis pitch for the second time this year. Tell you about J.D. after this. J.D. Davis will take over with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 8th. We have seen J.D. Davis pitch before this season, Plummer, and he was impressive.
He was very impressive. Has a fastball averaging 89 to 92 miles an hour. Still a question mark on what the off-speed pitch was he used to get a swing and a miss. Take a look back at a couple of the highlights from that outing in Tampa. Fastball getting Odor to pop up. That's kind of where we saw the velocity jump a little bit to 92 miles an hour. That was the pitch right there. You get Shin-Soo Choo with the swing and miss. He said he thought he threw a slider because that's what Evan Gattis put down.
Now he gets to face the top of the order for the A's.
They've even got a scouting report on him here. It's brought to you by Stats Inc. with the 91.5 mile an hour heater, and it's a curveball.
Okay.
78 miles an hour.
He pitched for Cal State Fullerton up the road. In fact, he's not from far from here. He grew up south of Sacramento, went to Elk Grove High School.
11 saves, 3.0 ERA.
There was some question at one point in his Cal State Fullerton Titans career whether he'd be a pitcher or a hitter. So he's got some skills as a pitcher. The A's will find that out quickly. It's 1-1. He was at Elk Grove High School, NorCal Player of the Year in his junior and senior years. He's always happy to get back to this part of the country. Probably was assuming he would get a chance to hit at some point in this series, but instead he's pitching first.
Another pitch well within the strike zone, not called a strike.
2-1 the count. Can't squeeze J.D. Davis.
He's making it pitcher's pitches.
Oh, look at that.
You look at it.
2-1 is fouled out of play. Nobody's been able to retire Marcus Semien today.
As Tyler White continues to get his wind sprints in.
When JD struck out Choo, he had a huge game. He got Robinson Chirinos to ground out. That was the first time Chirinos had been retired. See if he can get Marcus Semien for the first time today. That pitch misses, and it counts 3-2.
Just overthrowing a little bit.
5 consecutive walks issued by Raymond Goudouin as he leaves the game with the bases loaded. Last time the Astros walked 13 in a 9-inning game was here in the Bay Area, but at San Francisco. Davis strikes out Semien. Nice 3-2 fastball to get Semien. First time all day Semien's been retired.
With a sink to that? Good movement down and in. J.D. Davis. Woo. Pretty filthy. Can only imagine. Scouting report Semien's bringing back to that A's dugout. His third baseman's got some wicked movement down and in.
92.
Yep.
With a little run. Here's Chad Pinder taking a called strike at 93. Pinder said this guy's supposed to be a third baseman, right? JD bringing the heat. Saw it already once. So we shouldn't be surprised, but he's impressive again. 93.
The bases are loaded, by the way. This is not an ideal situation for anybody to be in, let alone a position player. He is not even phased.
Dual threat. JD with 3 home runs. Now his second outing as a pitcher. That was on the corner. That was an emergency swing.
Yeah, that ball beat Pinder. That was just a late hack to stay alive.
He strikes out Semien, who hadn't been retired all game, and now he's ahead of Pinder 0-2. Tried to shoot the corner. All 4 pitches to Pinder have been 93 miles an hour.
Got to expand a little bit, don't you? Like, it's easy to say when it's not my at bat.
Most walks ever issued by Astros pitching in a 9-inning game was 13. They have allowed 12 walks today. The 13 came in a game here in San Francisco, part of a doubleheader. J.R. Richard, the starting pitcher, walked 11.
What?
Walked 11.
What?
That was not a comfortable at bat for the Giants that day.
Oh, man.
And then Wayne Granger walked 2. That was May 4th, 1975. 12 walks today issued by Astros pitching. They have been spread out. Yeah, JR walked 11 that day. Game at Candlestick.
It's a manager looking at the pitching coach going, you go take him out. I'm not taking him out. I'm leaving him in there.
I have to look back at that final pitching line.
Yeah, you do that.
That was a day that JR just couldn't get comfortable at the stick. 2-2 the count. See if JD can finish this off. Pinder stays alive.
I just feel like J.R. Richard, his slider might have been just absolutely turbo filthy that day, and nobody could either swing at it or call it for a strike. Probably created so much movement he couldn't keep it on the plate.
May 4th, 1975 Astros Giants. I may not get to it till the next half, but I'll look it up at some point. 2-2.
Being told J.R. got the win.
Down low, 3-2. All right, I might be able to pull it up now. We have a 12-8 Astros win.
Wow. That's why he stayed in.
J.R. Richards, 6 innings, 4 hits, 11 walks, 6 strikeouts, 7 earnings.
What does that do to your whip?
The Astros got to John D'Acquisto, their lefty starter, for 8 runs in 3 2/3. So 3-2 for the second straight batter for J.D. Davis. Pinder and Davis having quite a battle here.
Why not? Drag this inning out.
It's not like there's another game. Oh, there is.
Yeah, we got nothing else to do. Wait.
So you're going to go for drum lessons, he said.
Yep, I'll be back.
I got to get something to eat.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way too.
13 walks ties the franchise record for a 9-inning game. Long battle between J.D. Davis and Chad Pinder. Pinder waits him out. 6 walks in the inning. You know, it's tough to you're a position player throwing strikes for the most part. That's a lengthy at bat to continue to try and throw strikes. And finally Pinder wore him down. Ten to 1. 5 bases loaded walks in this game.
You're going to have to compete with some of these Seagulls as far as getting some lunch in between games. They get aggressive.
Base hit to left field. Joey Wendell, as a pinch hitter, comes in and hits one into left for a hit. And makes it 11 to 1. Wendell pinch hitting for Jed Lowry. All these runs charged to Ramin Gudwan. And the bases remain loaded.
Fielder, number 2, Chris Davis.
So J.D. Davis facing Chris Davis. Davis with RBIs 100 and 101 with a 2 RBI base hit his last time up.
You may have seen a quick glimpse of A.J. Hinch. He was waving to Max Stassi. He said, go talk to him. Just give him a little bit of a breather. That's all this is right now. Not anticipating J.D. having to throw this many pitches. We already talked about the fact he does not do this normally, so want to go out there, have a chat, give him a breather, maybe regroup a little bit, because this is going to be a tough at bat.
17 pitches into the inning for J.D. Davis. This inning started a half an hour ago. We mentioned the A's averaging 3 hours and 40 minutes in their last 6 games. Didn't think they were going to get to that total today, but with this lengthy bottom half of the 8th, they will in fact get there. There is a strike.
BP fastball.
1-1 the count. 11th batter of the inning. The only 2 outs of this inning were Davis striking out against Ramin Gudwan and Marcus Semien striking out against J.D. Davis. 2-1 the count. Astros have matched the franchise record for most walks in a 9-inning game. And 10 of the 13 have come in the last 3 innings. There is a strike on the corner, 2-2.
I fortunately never had the opportunity to pitch in a game, but I'm not sure they'd let me pitch with my third baseman's glove on the mound. I think it was a pine tar mess. I'd have been thrown out of the game for doctoring the baseball.
Imagine if they let Reddick pitch.
He'd have to take his jersey off, his hat off, his glove. He wouldn't be able to pitch with a glove. It'd just be bare hands and baseball.
There is Josh, a rare look at the clean uniform of Josh Reddick.
Saw the first breaking ball from J.D. Davis that last pitch.
3-2.
It's close enough for me. Close enough for a strike zone. Yeah, a couple of seams hit that bottom corner.
Swing and a miss. J.D. gets Chris Davis to end the 8th inning. A's score 5 runs on 4 bases loaded walks and a single. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Watch out, Julia.
I feel like there should be some scary music playing in the background.
No doubt, because that bird is just waiting for this game to end.
There's circling. What happens when the next game begins?
I'm proud of the camera guy for going up there and getting that shot. That's impressive.
Up there with the Falcon.
Good old Freddie up there hanging out.
What's the Falcon story?
What is it?
It's supposed to scare the seagulls away, but they're not scared.
Now they're on to Freddie.
Right? Isn't it supposed to mark the territory or something? They spent good money on those things.
Didn't they? Can't remember where they got it from, but they paid a hefty fine. I mean, a hefty price to get that thing in here and had it shipped in. He's up there trying to establish his authority, and it's not going so well.
There's
I don't think
two of them.
There's two now?
Yeah.
That's not a real bird.
I just noticed there's another one over there.
It's a good day to fly a kite. Sorry.
It is. I didn't know the Falcon story. I really didn't.
Well, that's right. Esh was here last time we had the Falcon, and we were on the field, and the grounds crew brought in the Falcon. I wish for the life of me, I know that Twitter's about to blow me up for not knowing this story, but there was a story of another place that was having issues with the seagulls, and they brought in this Falcon that's on a stick that just goes flying around up there, and it worked. So the people here at the Oakland Coliseum bought into it, purchased it, and brought it in. First couple times are pretty effective, but I don't know if they're onto it or not, but they're not going to deter the Seagulls' actions here later in the game.
You know, based on that last shot, it looks like they're actually flying around together. So there's very little deterrent.
They're in cahoots.
They are. Simone Castro is the new pitcher, as he has an 11-1 lead to work with. They also kept Joey Wendell in the game at second base, and Mark Canha is playing in left field. Correa's day ends 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Game 2, Blummer's going to break down what he sees from Correa pre-All-Star break to what's going on right now. A little side-by-side video. 1-1 the count to Marwin.
Yeah, just a couple of little things. Talking to Dave Hudgens before the game.
Marwin late on that pitch. It's 1-2.
Pretty live arm from Castro. We saw the good breaking ball to punch out Carlos Correa, and then good heater to get himself ahead in this count to Marwin Gonzalez at 94.
Foul tip in and out of the glove of Fegley. Marwin stays alive. Astros down 10 in the 9th. They are more than likely going to fall to just 1/2 game ahead of the Cleveland Indians for the best record in the American League. The Indians winning their 17th in a row earlier today. Astros will not be able to reduce the magic number, which sits currently at 8 for the Angels and 7 for the Rangers, who lost to the Yankees at home. Mariners at 6. The A's were eliminated over the past few days. 2-2 the count. Game 2 will be Brad Peacock against Daniel Mengden. Ball 4. So Marwin, who stayed alive on a foul tip, draws a 1-out walk.
Player of the game is presented to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's Daniel Gossett holding down this powerful American League offense. Did a great job mixing all of his pitches in there. Fastball, slider, curveball. Did an unbelievable job of keeping these hitters off balance. Kept them guessing. When they did get some pitches in the zone, they were unable to square it up. for me, really, Tyler White is the only guy that actually hit the ball hard, hitting that ball to the left center field wall.
Takes a called strike. White 1 for 3. Continues that season average at .333. He's now 13 for 39. Pitch away, it's 1-1. Game started locally at 1:07, 3:07 Central. So that average game time for the A's will actually take a bump up as we are 3 hours and 40 minutes in. Long bottom half of the 8th inning. The Astros matching a franchise record with 13 walks in a 9-inning game. They had a stretch of 3 consecutive walks in the 6th and a stretch of 5 consecutive walks and 6 out of 7 hitters in the 8th.
It's unreal to have that many consecutive walks. Doesn't make any sense.
That was a tough day for Ramin Gudwan as he had to leave the game after walking 5 straight. 2-2 the count to White. We saw Tyler pitch earlier this year. He has 1 outing. Aoki has 1 outing. J.D. Davis now leads the position players with 2 appearances out of the pen. Ryan Dull got 6 outs. He pitched 2 innings for the A's. First 6 were the Academy Player of the Game, Daniel Gossett, and now Simone Castro trying to finish it off. On the ground, Wendell, Simeon, and White beats the throw. So the Astros stay alive as Tyler White grounds into a fielder's choice.
Number 21, Derek Fisher.
Here's Derek Fisher. Fisher 0 for 2 with a walk. Castro ahead 0-2. Lone Castro looking for the final out of this game. A's trying to win 3 in a row after losing 8 straight prior to Wednesday. And the ball game's over. 95-mile-an-hour fastball to end it. Castro picks up the final 3 outs of an 11-1 A's victory as they scored 11 in the opener, including 5 in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So the Astros will try and turn things around with a guy who was in the A's organization a few years ago, Brad Peacock, on the mound for Game 2. Final score in Game 1, the A's 11 and the Astros 1. Game 2 of our doubleheader will come up in just about 30 minutes. The Astros still in search of that AL West crown. They'll continue that against the A's, trying to figure out a way to win a game in this series. Stick around for the post-game show with Mike Stanton along with Bart Ennis, and then we'll be back for the second game right after that. For Jeff Blum, Julia Morales, and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew here in Oakland, I'm Todd Cowles. We'll see you in half an hour. Stay tuned for the post-game show.